The following episode may be inappropriate for some audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Alrighty, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome everyone here to the state of Sin. Sorry, I had to do it, Jules. It's back, the old Wheel of Fortune intro. I gotta bring it back because we have one of our favorite guests coming up this evening. I'm very excited about this, and I know everyone in the chat room is like super duper excited.
As usual, we bring on this guest and the chat starts hopping.
Yeah, it's just, everyone just comes out of the woodworks, and I love it. We get to see all the new faces, fresh faces, and wonderful people that come around to see our wonderful guest, which is Starcadian. We're very excited to bring him on the show. We got so much ground to cover. He just put out a banging album, and, you know, we're just going to play a whole crap load of it because...
Damn right. Why not?
You know, that's what we can do. It's our show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are here. My name is Dennis. Your name is...
I'm Neon. I'm Neon.
We did
Neon
that part
Fawkes.
already.
Tip.
Yeah. So we had a live performance last week, and it was called the Maverick Festival. And Jules, I want to say I need the microphone that you used. I was very excited. And
So my XLR mic, I got an adapter from XLR to 1/4 inch because I was using my DJ controller as my sound card.
yes.
Right? There was like last minute setup for my DJ controller, and of course my DJ controller couldn't detect the stupid XLR microphone plugged in with a 1/4 inch. So I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? I don't have another mic. And I realized I had some Bluetooth heads. I had Bluetooth earbuds, and I'm like, okay, maybe those will work.
It was
Because I mean, they sound.
great.
Everybody I call, they say, hey, you sound great. And I guess me holding them in my fingers, not so good.
That was so... And you just like... You were just...
I sounded like this.
You were holding it in your hands like you were just like holding like 2 eggs in your hand. You're just like, I'm Neon Fawkes, and I have 2 eggs in my hand, and I'm gonna play a show for you now. And it was like such a Neon Fawkes move. I just loved it. So I'm getting a pair, and you know, it's gonna be a thing now. It's gonna be a thing. All the streamers are gonna do it. Faith in the Glitch. I think he already has his on order, actually.
Yeah, of course he does. You know what? I thought, oh man, I'm so special. I'm going on at the end of the night. Yeah. Then as I'm watching Faith in the Glitch's stream, I'm like, oh god.
Well, he pretty much showed everybody up because
Of course.
the man is
Why
seasoned.
was I after him?
The man is.
But hey, I just want to say hi to the listeners. If you're listening, say hi in the chats.
Yes.
We can throw you some shout outs. We've got already quite a roster of people, but I think we should kick into our first song.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop our very first track here, and after that, we'll do some shout-outs. We do have our top story coming up this evening. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time, and let's just dive right on into it. Mr. Neon Fawkes, you want to go ahead and set this first track up?
So we were going to play this at the end of the show, but our friend Weiss is in the IRC chat, so I figured let's stick it at the top of the show. So yeah, Cassetter did a collab with Maxstore called Till the End, and Weiss has just made a remix of it. So here it is, Cassetter, Till the End, featuring Maxstore, the Weiss remix, right here on Night Ride FM.
And once again, that was Till the End by Cassetter featuring Max Thor, and it's the Weiss remix. That's a lot of people involved in that project, but it's a banger.
Man, you could tell, you can hear the Weiss in that.
Yeah, very
I'm
good.
getting like Magnetron vibes.
And of course, that premiere was courtesy of our friends over at Fixed. We love you guys. Thanks a lot for the exclusive. You guys heard it here first. It's amazing, amazing stuff right there. And yeah,
Shout
very
out
nice.
to Fixed Neon, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead into our top story. Ladies and gentlemen, our top story of the evening is Ollie Wride live at Lafayette, paving the way once again for live performances. Jules, you missed it. What happened?
I bought tickets 2 years ago for both Scotland and for the Glasgow and the London show, and then COVID happened, and then of course I couldn't make it.
You
this
got
year.
done dirty, didn't
And
you?
then all those bastards taking photos and posting them on social media, like, look at me with Ollie, and look at us having a great time. Like even the Forever Synth boys were there.
Yep.
Of course. Bastards. Look at that. They quit their show, and then I don't know, they shouldn't have been allowed in.
All they do is they hang out with rock stars all day long now. That's all.
You know what? Now you don't. If you don't do a synthwave show, then you don't get to go to a synthwave show.
That's right.
That should be the rule.
New rules. Something like that. I do have a setup here to read. Let me read this here. With COVID constantly creeping around the corner, it is hard to say when live synthwave shows will ever come back to normal. Big events can be a huge risk, both financially and physically. In these days of uncertainty, it is good to know that there are performers out there still willing to bring it all to the table. Ollie Wride just recently performed, which is, of course, what you just mentioned, to a sold-out crowd at Lafayette, London. How did it go? Fortunately, our very own Reinhold is here to give you his review on how the evening went. Mr. Reinhold, are you out there, my friend?
Back to life. Hello. It's Reinhold here. I'm aware that I sound a bit more like the Joker today. Well, you see, I'm just coming from a wonderful little concert by that Oliver Wride fellow. Yes, everyone who was anyone was there. I was so busy singing along that I haven't lubricated my voice, and I've completely gone mental. Completely. I've lost my usual oaky timbre. So I'm just walking back now from the Lafayette, which is a lovely little venue. The stage floor did look like a primary school assembly hall circa the 90s, but everything else was simply wonderful. The lighting was, effervescent. And I saw Nina, unfortunately, she couldn't make it, so Dana Jean Phoenix, she got up, and you know what? Contrary to popular belief, the lass is bloody huge. She's 7 feet tall. I couldn't believe it. Yes, the size of the guitar that she plays alone. You'd need a small van just to get it onto the stage. It was brilliant. She asked us about fighting robots, and that was good. Lots of lighting. Very, very sort of bouncy sort of performance, and that was wonderful. Yes, and then the man himself got up onto the stage, Oliver, and absolutely blew the bloody doors off the place. It was incredible. And I'll be honest, I'm a perfectly, I wouldn't say I'm a happily married man, because who's happy in their marriage, of course. Yes, but he's got a very gorgeous band. And I'm not one for, dipping my wick in the waters that are murky, if you understand my saying. But they're all very, very, very gorgeous, actually. Yes, yes. And can they play? Well, can they billio? Can McGonagall score a try-wizard in cricket? Does a bear do its you-know-what in the you-know-where? Yes, they were absolutely incandescent. I haven't been this excited since the Falklands. It was absolutely incredible. And I sang along to all the songs I knew, which admittedly was only 2, but I sang very loud, and did lots of whooping and hollering and all that sort of stuff. So here I am, walking home. What a night. Ollie has a new single out. I suppose I should promote that. It's called A Matter of Time. It's pretty good, actually. Yes. I mean, it's no Sousa or Bach. So as far as the blinky plonky bleep bloop sort of nonsense goes, it was bloody lovely. And I met so many friends there. The Forever Sainth guys, they were there throwing drinks at people. It was wonderful. And DJ She-Ra, she was there. And Astral Stereo Project, he was there. And Polaris von Samus was there. And that I couldn't quite believe it, but the chap who sings in that Glitter Wolf band, he was there. Very affable gentleman. Stunning to look at. Couldn't quite believe it. Tall too. Tall. Not as tall as DJP, obviously. She's huge. Yes. Wonderful night. You should have come. Why didn't you boys in the studio come? It would have been lovely to see you. But never mind. There's always next time, I suppose. Well, I think that's probably quite enough from me. That's Reinhold. What do you kids call it? Logging off. I'm going down to find the nearest boozery where I can acquire some libations. Yes. Back to life. Do da do do da do. I do do da do. I do do. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you. Yes, I've just been to a concert. Yes, Ollie Wride. Oh, it's very good. So it's this sort of music that hasn't quite learned to grow up yet. Yeah, it's sort of stuck in the past.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Reinhold. And
Mr. Reinhold, we wish we could have been there indeed. I'm surprised he didn't call him Olivier. Monsieur Olivier.
Is that a French way to pronounce?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like Oliver.
I like that he calls him Oliver. I think that's hilarious. I don't know why. I mean, that's his name, right?
Oh man, I guess so.
I guess. I don't know.
Lord Reinhold's awesome.
It's
and
good.
I love how he was talking about that gentleman from Glitter Wolf.
Who is that dude anyway?
Stunning.
I never heard of that guy.
Yeah.
Is he good?
Orvis? Never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Anyway, so enough about that. We are here to talk with our very favorite guest, and I'm telling you, this album is a banger. This is just a mad crazy album. What's the name of the album again?
Radio Galaxy.
I wanted to say Radio Signals, but that's not right. See, I'm praising the album. I don't even know what it's called. Let's just bring him on.
It's because you're just too busy listening. You didn't look at any of the the graphics, the text.
Not true. All right, so here's our quick intro. Starcadian, yay! Welcome, Starcadian, to the show.
What's up, fuckers? How's it going?
Man, welcome back. Great to have you.
It's good to be back.
I'm just like, I can't get enough of this album, and I forget what the damn thing's called. I knew it was radio, but I couldn't think it was like Radio Signals or Radio Galaxy. And let's talk about the actual name of the album, because it's kind of interesting. There's a couple things going on. It's not called Midnight Signals 2, but it is, in a way, I guess it is the spiritual successor to Midnight Signals, right?
Yeah, that was where the hashtag came from, the MS2RG. I was kind of easing people into it. I didn't just want to call it Midnight Signals 2 because it didn't quite take the whole mythology to the finish line.
Right.
And being space stuff, pretty into it. So yeah, I was. It's kind of part of the narrative, and I was always fascinated by radio galaxies, which are kind of like quasars, blazars.
Are they actual things? They're things?
Oh no, yeah, radio galaxies are
thing?
real things. Yeah.
They got that they emit those radio because of the pulsar or something.
Really?
They can be detected from thousands and thousands of miles, and you can use them basically for cosmology.
I tell you, I listen to your music, I feel like I'm getting a science lesson and entertained all at the same time. It's actually a wonderful experience, and your album is just a wonderful experience. And yeah, you go deep into so much, man. God damn. I just like want to just pick apart, like, you know, all the overtones, I guess, like the overarching sounds and elements. It's a very like tribal meets disco. It's almost like, you know, what like a disco rave would be like on a forbidden planet, deep in some cave with like Aborigine aliens and stuff. You know, is that
aliens? I think that's an oxymoron. Isn't
is
it?
that an oxymoron? So yeah.
Well, not you know, not as much as you would think.
No.
I'm still obviously I still haven't like laid out completely the order and the mythology.
Right.
And I'm trying not to before we actually make it into something.
Yes.
So we don't get ripped off again.
That never happens.
Name. Yeah, I know.
People never rip off other artists.
But yeah, I'll just give you like my main points of inspiration from like years ago, and like where and when this could be futuristic, but also caveman like, right? So like one of the biggest inspiration is this duo of directors called Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who did this amazing movie called Resolution, which, like, if you have Shudder, just go watch it. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
And it just fucks with you on such a narrative level, and it goes incredibly meta. I don't think I know a lot of movies that have done it that way.
Really?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I'll tell you right now, 90% of people who listen to this and go and watch it, they're gonna think it's a crock of shit.
What's the movie again?
Resolution. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of didn't quite love it the first time I saw it, and then I kind of read up on it and watched it again, and I'm like, this is probably the smartest movie ever made.
Wow.
They made, I think technically, I don't think they made a third one. So they're the same guys that did Synchronic on Netflix, and then they also did, they're doing that Moon Knight show with Oscar Isaac for Marvel.
Man,
Okay.
I need a link. We need like a link farm after the show. We need show notes.
I'm
Yeah,
putting the
just-
link in the chat. There you go.
Yeah, the two movies are
2012.
Resolution and the sequel is called Endless, and like, holy shit.
Nice. So they're in the chat now if you guys want to check them out. Starcadian recommendations for some flicks.
Hey, I remember the last Starcadian recommendation was to wait on buying an Oculus Quest, because there was something new coming out, and now I've got an Oculus Quest 2. So
Yeah. I tell you, Oculus Quest, and it's such a... Speaking of, like, other worlds, I mean, we're just getting to that point where we could just jump in VR and do some crazy stuff. We're actually going to be doing, like, some more VR shows. If you guys have an Oculus Quest, like... We're doing some cool stuff. We're doing some get-togethers and some more live events. So that's just a quick aside, just to get you guys up to speed. But yeah, so that movie was a big inspiration on the album. I hear like a lot of new sounds. I hear a lot of like just amazing, crazy things. Like, can we just start breaking things down? And I'm not gonna make a secret of this. We're gonna play a lot of Starcadian on this track and on this show, because this is, you know, one of my favorite albums so far. It
tonight
really is.
it's the state of Starcadian.
Oh, can we coin that as that? That's what we're gonna name the episode. So there it is.
Starcadian.
Very good. Thank you. So I don't have to do the work of naming the show.
all the Star Cadets are in the house.
Yeah, for real. Did we do a quick shout out for all the people in the chat room yet?
Let's do that. And I think, you know what, we should probably kick off with a song, because we are loaded with tracks.
We are.
But yeah, we've got our regular Dystarians in the house. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, we've got a Star Cadet. Danny is in the house. And Cersine, Kevlar Noir is here. Lord Tuts, who's going by Lord Butts tonight.
What?
Weiss, as I said, was in there. We've got a Betamax, but that's not with two X's, so it's not the real Betamax. It's the ultimate Betamax. And Z, our AI overlord, is in the house. As well as Eris, who just joined. And Morpheus has joined us as well. Night Razor is here. Craig Pacman, all the way from Perth, Australia. And Vampire is here as well. Thank you for joining us. Zero's here. Rex Balls is listening both. Well, he's in the IRC and the YouTube chat.
Nice.
Obluda's here. Red Scorpion's here. Over on YouTube, we got Howls. We've also got Razor X here. Echo Vector X. Rogue. And what's this? Philreen? Kit's in the house. Coffin Dragger's here. And Big Lanids, I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
Nice.
In the house. I think I've caught up to
Well,
everyone.
very good. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. So we have so many damn songs. This is nuts. We're gonna start off. I have lined up here. I have Gutter, and let's just talk about. We got show notes for. We don't even do this like ever, but we have show notes for like pretty much every song we are playing here tonight. I think. Did I write down the show notes for this one, Jules? Did you mess around my notes?
I didn't mess around with anything.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta back it up here. I can't find the notes on Gutter. That must not have been one that was any good. Why are we playing it? No, I'm just kidding. So which one was Gutter? Now we have to play it because I can't remember my show notes. I wrote really good notes. I'm telling you, Starcadian, I did. I don't know.
You've got show notes for everything else. Cannibal Gods, Culture, Satellites.
I do.
Like everything.
Just to let you guys know, we do have our show notes. They are available on thestateofsynth.com, and you can go and you can find out, and you can say, yeah, they did have a lot of notes. Dennis just can't read.
Here.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about Gutter. We're going to play it first because I suck, and I forget the song. So we're going to go ahead and drop it here.
This song is so good.
This is the worst interview ever. You still with us, Starcadian?
Who are you again? Where am I?
The show quickly went off the rails. It really did. But yeah, we're going to play a song for you guys. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the song because I have just, so much that I want to talk about, and I don't want to miss anything. So we got to cover all the bases here. Once again, this is Starcadian with Gutter right here on Night Ride FM. And once again, that was Gutter by Starcadian. And yeah, man, it's a slow burn. That was a slow burn track. Like, it's just right in the beginning. I like the fact that it just kind of like just lays down that groove, you know,
and the guitar work in it, awesome.
The guitar, yeah. I'm assuming you did the actual guitar work, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was me on all the guitars in the album. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. So it's just a Wi-Fi died like 3 times in a row. Yeah. No. This album was me kind of rediscovering my love for the guitar, which is what I initially was, a guitarist, and then I was like, ooh, clicky plucky sounds and knobs and synths and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like basically learning synths as I was making Sunset Blood, and then right around 17 or something, I just, the world's going to shit, and I'm just like, not really digging the whole like 4 on the floor beats and synthesizers and like subtractive synths. Just starting to get tired with like the sound, not really expressing anything, and I just started going back to my original like inspirations, which was a lot of like Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, a lot of Soundgarden, which is where Gutter really started. I was a huge I still am a huge Soundgarden fan, and Kim Thale is like one of my major inspirations. And I just kind of wanted to get back into that world again, And it made writing songs so much better and easier because you're not stuck in the same loops,
Do you start, when you're writing a song, do you start with the guitar and then just add everything around it?
So a bunch of the albums I started with synths, which I think in hindsight might have been why some songs were giving me a bit of a runaround. And ever since I started playing on the Linstrument, the big, light up thingy that I use on the live shows, which is laid out like a guitar. And then after that, started using a guitar again. I just found my fingers going to unpredictable chord progressions and kind of trying out new stuff. And that's kind of when I realized, I'm a fucking idiot savant. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out as I go. And one thing that I've figured out is like, as soon as you get comfortable with an instrument, you have to switch it, or else you're going to do the same chord progressions again and again and again. And that's not going to be fruitful creatively at all. Yeah. So basically, whatever like brush you're using, as soon as you learn it inside and out, you have to switch it, or else you're not going to discover like weird new things in your art,
Yeah, that's good advice, actually.
That makes sense, actually.
And you really do change it up. I like the fact that it's like the same Starcadian vibe, but you add so many new like elements, and especially with that intro track, that was like early in the album, I think maybe track 3, and it just really laid out the groundwork that it's a true evolution of what Midnight Signals was. And bravo for just putting it all together and piecing it all together. It sounds great. The album art is fantastic. Do you want to talk a little bit about conceptually what you got going on? Because it's very interesting. It's kind of like this, like, I guess, like this inner world planet type of thing, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's a culmination of like the inspirations that I had when creating the original logo. I'm not sure a single person will know the video game I'm about to reference, but like one of my all-time favorite games, like top 3 at least, is something from the late 90s called Realms of the Haunting, which is a completely fucking wackadoo FMV. It's like Doom, but also FMV kind of game, like full motion video, and
really,
it's really bizarre. It's like insanely cheesy and insanely epic at the same time, and like very occult and bizarre. And I feel like that was like, in hindsight, it's one of the biggest inspirations I've had in making art, because it kind of gets that sweet spot of like not really knowing what's happening, but it's also familiar, and it has a sense of cosmic dread and kind of weirdness. And long story short, there's a level on it. I'll put up a picture on Instagram, but there's a level where like there are these narrowing stairs that go up into a door into the middle of the sky, and it's not as epic as it's. I mean, it was epic to me when I was 14, but it kind of kickstarted this idea of the little steps that form the Starcadian symbol, and I always wanted to have this like optical illusion of this almost like Stargate of rocks and these doors that lead into a doorway, these steps that lead into a doorway into the sky, and then the planet way in the distance kind of forms a circle around everything. So it's really just a distance-based illusion, and I finally got to make it.
Nice. I mean, so many layers, man. Holy crap.
I'm looking at this Reinhold haunting. I'm like, I can't. I know my video games, and I can't remember this for the life of me.
It's so good. It's by far one of the best games ever made, and I'm sure people are going to be like, "This is a turd," but holy shit, I would stick with it. It's so big too.
Well, there's a lot of games out there that I think it's something that grabs you, like as a gamer or a fan or whatever. Like it's just like an element. Like for me, there was something about, I don't know if you ever played the the 11th Hour, which was based off the Seventh Guest. It was like I guess the sequel.
Yeah.
That game,
it's very much in that vibe.
It's so bad,
with
but
a little bit of Doom.
It's creepy as hell.
It's very Doom. Yes, it looks like it's running the Doom engine.
Nice.
It was actually a custom engine, the proprietary engine, because they had a lot of stuff that you couldn't do at the time. It was actually cutting edge at the time, and it has this weird layout where you hold down the right mouse button and move your mouse, and that's how you move. You don't move with the W key.
Oh wow!
and then you can like look around. There were some like technological breakthroughs with this game that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Wow.
But yeah, it's really cool. I think that and Thief are probably my two favorite games of all time.
I got to get into that because that is old. Ken Levine, and he's the same guy who did BioShock, and he.
Yeah, man, a whole bunch of people from Looking Glass, and I believe a lot of those people went on to Arcane, who made Dishonored, which is basically an updated Thief.
Yeah,
and it's like more or less the same game, which is like good graphics.
Yeah, I gotta play that one. That's on my list. I played Dishonored 1, loved it. Dishonored 2. There's so many games. Prey is basically like a very similar game, but I don't think that the Prey team, I don't think they are in the same studio. But yeah, just stories like that I find just amazing.
Prey was like the spaceship that comes down on that little thing, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was almost like weird. BioShock in space almost.
Yeah, and I remember.
Prey's good. It's not like. I'm super into like stealth games. I can't stand like turn-based games. It's just don't have the smarts for that. So I just like stealth games. I wouldn't call it necessarily a stealth game, Prey.
Well, they had two Preys. They had like the Prey reboot, and then I'm talking about the newer reiteration.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay,
the Arcane one. Yeah. It's a great game. It's kind of different to Dishonored.
Yeah, it's definitely not as stealthy, for sure.
Their new one, Deathloop, is fucking rad. It's really good.
I gotta play that. Deathloop?
Yeah. Really, really good.
I gotta get a someday. I'm actually gonna be able to buy a PS5, or maybe just break down and buy it on PC.
I came to, you know what? Has anyone ever like touched a PS5, or is it?
No one's ever touched a PS5.
I don't think they exist. I think I don't
think it's
friends
real.
Were like, I finally got a PS5, and these aren't friends I normally see in person, so I can't corroborate. But I think it's just some bullshit.
And the world is flat.
Like, I got the PS20. How's that? Yeah, right.
I don't fuck with consoles, man. It's like I don't think I'm missing like a gland that has me that I can control a joypad with. I just cannot control a joypad at all.
Mouse keyboard.
That's me with the mouse.
I've called a lot of fucking names in Call of Duty in like 2007, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm sticking on PC. I can't do this.
Nice.
Can you imagine all these kids yelling at Starcadian on, if only they knew who they were yelling at.
Yes. Well, speaking of Starcadian, let's drop some more tracks. Let's talk about some more stuff here. I guess we're moving on to Cannibal Gods, which this is where shit starts getting crazy, in my opinion. I have notes for this. So...
No feedback. Oh, no.
The Cannibal Gods. I feel like this is very reminiscent of your previous project, which we can also go into after we play the track. It's a little documentary that you did a couple songs for.
Yeah.
And it's apparently catching some headlines out there. We'll talk a little bit about that. But I feel like this track, Cannibal Gods, is a build upon what you did with the Shadowcatcher project. It's got a lot of multicultural sounds. I almost want to say is that a sitar or like a benjara or however you pronounce it?
It's an oud.
An oud.
Which basically evolved into the bouzouki or other similar stringed instruments. But yeah, this is the Turkish oud.
You're getting into some funky stuff, man. I'm telling you. But it sounds great. I love it. It's just got this organic. I love that organic sounds that you get out of this album. And then like it just goes batshit crazy with the chants and the shrieks and the screams, and like I really feel like this is like some weird Aborigine type of like thing going on. Like I don't know if I want to like party or like run, because there's definitely
that's the vibe.
It's like, do I stay or
Story
do
of my
I
life.
go? But let's go ahead and we're gonna give this one a drop here. Lots of great stuff. We're gonna pretty much plow through the entire album. So once again, this is Cannibal Gods by Starcadian. You are listening to Night Ride FM. Enjoy. And that was Cannibal Gods by Starcadian. And yeah, man, that was great. It's great stuff.
Dude, like,
I'm eating cheese sticks, by the way.
Oh, by the way, you know what? We got a couple of questions from the chats.
Yes. What do we got here?
All right, so Z's like Dennis G. Hang on, wait.
It just says Dennis G.
Anyway, so I got a couple.
That's not a very good question.
In the chat wants to ask you, Starcadian, what are your current casual listening songs? And then there's a second follow-up to that. And what is your favorite song from your new album?
Ooh, spicy questions. Let's see. Okay, so according to Spotify, my number one song in 2021 was "Get the Funk Out" by Extreme, and I can explain myself before you start laughing. It's the best solo ever recorded by any guitarist. If you haven't heard the solo, go listen to the solo. It's Nuno Betancourt, unbelievable. And I've literally spent the year trying to play it note for note. It's also a great song. So that's what I was listening to. A shit ton of AC/DC. I was like at this 0.005 top listeners of AC/DC. A lot of Yellow Magic Orchestra. A lot of yacht rock for some reason. Just on a yacht rock kick.
Yacht rock is.
And a lot of this is a very niche genre, but not even a genre. Wasn't enough. Late 70s, early 80s. So think Joe Jackson, Squeeze, The Fix, kind of the Police were kind of in that, a little bit in that world. My Sharona kind of sounded like that. So it's like this very energetic, kind of post-punk pop that has like the most amazing drum mixing and just like really nice pop kind of progressions. So that, music-wise, that's what I've been listening to. But I was talking with you guys earlier, and like the things I listen to the most is really podcasts, like Last Podcast on the Left and Film Drunk Broadcast. Because when you're making music, like you just kind of want to clear your palate. So podcasts are like ginger between the sushi bites when you're working on music.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that because, you know, when you are getting in your own zone, you know, also too, I feel like if you're listening to music, do you find that if you're listening to music, you kind of like almost feel influenced by the stuff that you're listening to? And do you find that like you start making stuff sound a little bit more that's less your own?
Well, that's the problem, right? Like, that's the problem.
With a melody, even, like, you could be like, oh, where did I hear that melody from? And you're like, oh, shit, I just listened to that, like, 5 minutes ago.
Well, that's a good question, because, like, also that's the world that, like, the fucking Blurred Lines lawsuit put us in.
Yeah.
So that put the fear of God in me, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, oh, if they can win that because, you know, someone's estate are vultures, then anyone could do this.
Right.
And really, like, anyone could sue anyone in music, because we're all using progressions that were written like, fucking hundreds of years ago, right? So if everything is fair game, then I can't really listen. Like, I don't listen to synthwave. I don't listen to anything other than like very oblique, rare music that if I'm gonna pay homage to it or rip it off or whatever, I make damn sure that I change it enough to call it mine. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna be inspired by something, put it this way, it's better to know what you're paying homage to, so you know how far away from it you've strayed, rather than just pick like a random, you know, song that you think you've heard somewhere before, but you're not sure, so fucking let's just go with it anyway. It's better to know what you're like kind of getting inspired by and know the parameters of.
So know how to veer off from it.
Yeah, but finding something at this point that like inspires me is it's getting harder and harder, man. With every song, I have to dig like in weirder and weirder like places in Spotify. Yeah. At this point, I'm in like Nigerian disco, and that's not even that weird. That's not that weird, but like it's not easy to find.
Yeah, well, it's definitely you know, I mean, you span a lot of genres, you span a lot of sounds, and I could definitely see you showing up in some strange places. As far as
there was a second question from the chat that I already forgot it because I'm drinking whiskey. But
you're drinking whiskey. I'm drinking whiskey too. This is an amazing thing.
What's your favorite track off your new album?
Probably Demoni.
Really?
Because it's because I've always. Oh yeah. You know what? Yes, that's my final answer. Because I've always wanted to make that kind of, not necessarily that genre, but that kind of what the fuck. I feel like I've done 10 years of albums just so I can make Demoni, so people can go, bro. That's
why you tweeted that, the ultimate WTF.
Yeah. That's really what I live for stuff that's Mr. Bungle, Phantom House, and just off-kilter shit. That's not off-kilter just for the sake of it, but it's just no, you're actually trying to do something weird and new with a purpose to it,
Yeah, for sure. And you do achieve that with so much of these tracks, and it's just amazing, the diversity that you get. You get a lot of diversity in this album. It's not just a funky disco beat. You have just we'll touch base in especially Multiverse Market. For me, that's my WTF track. I'm just whoa, what planet are you on when you're writing this stuff, man? It's an amazing experience to just listen to it and to hear the mind places that you take us to. But I figure at this point we might as well just go ahead and address the elephant in the room, talking about a wonderful book. In fact, this was part of the topic that we spoke on last time we interviewed you. It was a book. It was called Outlaw Ocean, right? Snowcatcher was the EP that you wrote. And some shit went down, apparently.
Shit got spicy.
Some spicy stuff. I guess to give a quick overview for people that don't know, you wrote an EP. I think it had 3 or 4 songs.
I think there was several artists that wrote EPs for this.
So I did a 5-song EP, and there's about a total of 600 artists, I believe, 600 or so, that contributed either single songs, entire albums, or EPs. I was feeling kind of saucy, so I did 5 songs.
But it was great. It's good, and it does. I think it does have some value. Of course, there's no such thing as a mistake, or you can always take your experiences and build upon them. And I really feel like the stuff that you made for Snowcatcher, I feel like that stuff really got rolled into this new album, and I hear all the experiences and the sounds and just the uniqueness that you brought on that EP in this new album. So, that's the one good thing to say about it. But I guess the other thing is that guy kind of ripped a bunch of people off, mainly because I guess he put...
Well, we don't quite know what's happened yet.
It's a lot of craziness.
So, yeah, I mean, to answer the first part of what you're saying, yes, Shadowcatcher for sure. If I hadn't done this EP, I never would have gotten Radio Galaxy done, because it allowed me to do something that's completely outside of the mythology and say, well, people aren't expecting this and probably won't care about this because it's tied to something else. So I can do something completely different and not be tied by the rules that I've set upon my own mythology. And by doing that, it allowed me to kind of just fuck around and come up with ways to actually do tie new sounds into what I'm doing. And not everything has to be this aesthetic. It can be wildly different if you maneuver it, smartly enough. Mm-hmm. So, so that's to answer your point about, yes, doing that. Yes, definitely not a mistake. I probably the thing I'm the most proud of, frankly, because it was such a left turn from what I usually do. But yeah, we're not quite sure what's happening right now. This musician called Ben Jordan, he basically kind of took it upon himself to do some research on the royalties and the label that the Outlaw Ocean operates through, and why most people, including me, hadn't seen really any royalties. It's a legal tangle right now, and I would not want to comment on it because
say no more. Say no more.
I honestly, frankly, Ian, he's a very nice guy. He absolutely got what I was doing, and he absolutely did something. Like I assume that all the journalism is correct and true, and it's something that's like really fucking interesting, honestly.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can assume that yes, there are underage kids in boats with festering wounds right now somewhere in the world,
right,
doing slave labor. I'm pretty sure that's not a made-up thing. So, but regardless, it triggered something in my mind, and I became fascinated by it, and I dove into the world, and I made this thing.
Right.
Believe me, if this turns out to be a con, I'll be a lot more vocal about it. But it's a he said she said kind of thing right now, right? So like, I don't know Ben from yesterday. I do know that he got very publicly ridiculed by New York Times writers, which I thought was very uncouth. There was a lady, Tessa something, PhD, who was like kind of really standoffish, like weirdly standoffish. And then two other people that were just like, I'm not watching a video, send me an article. And I'm like, well, all right, fucking fuddy-duddy, like, just watch the fucking video. The video has actual, like, citation. Do you want a Wikipedia? Like, no, we don't do Wikipedia either. We can't trust it. Well, what the fuck do you want? Like, are you just trying not to read something? Like, you're a journalist. Give it a second. Give it a minute. Give it the benefit of doubt. Look into it. That's the part that pissed me off. And I'm like, I don't know where he stands. I don't know where this Ben Jordan stands. I don't know who's right. I just want my parents to stop fighting. But, like, for the love of God, journalists, don't just discard something because it's YouTube. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So, other than that, pet peeve, I don't know. I've basically taken down and parted ways with the Outlaw Ocean project because there's some things about it that aren't that pretty right now that I would not want to be associated with, and it's kind of heartbreaking, frankly, because it's something that really kind of like triggered, like it was an emotional trigger for me to read that stuff, and I kind of just,
your
when
heart
I do
was there.
like,
you were in there. You were reading it, and you were touched by it, and you were inspired to make that music, and all that is genuine and legit, and you don't want to feel like that's devalued in any way, because that was real things. I'm sure it's a legit book, and I'm sure he did the research and everything like that. It's always a shame when things like this have to kind of spiral out of control. Yeah,
so like exactly. So like no matter what comes out of this, basically, like my feelings for this I know were true because I felt them, and what I did was honest, and without knowing concrete information, I'd rather it not be out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And be kind of linked with something that might be a little bit onerous. Either way. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tap out. You guys figure it out, and then let me know. And if this guy is just a sycophant, random troll, as Unerbina called him, then I will gladly go back into business, and we will make it available again. Right. But if Unerbina turns out to be a con man on the other side, then
it's all going to come out in the wash.
Light of day again.
For sure.
So
it's all going to come out in the wash.
I'm just trying to be the one thing that I'm basically lamenting in the song culture that no one is right now. I'm being a moderate and just shutting the fuck up and waiting to see what happens.
That is a great...
I don't have enough information.
Great tie-in.
Thank you for that. Like,
are you actually going to play it next?
Yes,
we're actually going to play it. Yeah.
One of my
Oh
favorite
my
songs.
god! I'll
off the
give you
album.
my Venmo because that shit is 1 in a million. I am sorry. You
That
guys,
was-
you owe me money for this.
You know what? Hey, I got some money for you. I'm gonna line it up and got your Venmo right here, man. So we're gonna talk.
Venmo right here.
Let me do a quick
said
shout
that.
out.
Yes.
I missed some shout outs. We got Nightmare Phoenix over in the YouTubes.
Nice.
And Luke M. And also over in IRC, we got Shep. We were joined by Kal-El Jagger, who's over in London. It's the wee hours of the morning for her. She was at the Ollie concert.
Wow.
I'm not jealous at all.
Not at all.
And then we've got Darren. We've got Foxy. We've got Nicey. Jack
Nice.
Attack. And Viking is over in the YouTubes. Like, oh, please tell me there's not going to be talking for 2 hours.
Yes.
So guess what, Viking? We're gonna be
There
playing
is.
a track right now.
Not only talking, we're talking with Starcadian, dude. Come on. Stop
The
it.
Starcadian.
Just stop it.
Oh, by the way, another shout out to Larox Makalar.
Very good. All right, so we're gonna drop this track here. This is Culture, and yeah, I mean, this is,
This song.
it feels like city pop meets Prince.
Jeez, the beat in it, the funk, the
And you're talking about a lot of things in this, the world we live in, the crazy world we live in, where, like you said, the moderates are, I guess, the minority at this point. It's almost a bad word to be a moderate.
They've retired to Long Island.
But yeah, it's crazy stuff. But one of my favorite tracks here as well. I say every track is like one of my favorite tracks because they're all bangers, man. They really are. So let's dive into this track right here. Once again, this is Starcadian with Culture right here on Night Ride FM. Enjoy.
to XDAL. Intergalactic.
And that was Culture by Starcadian. Great tune.
Mhm.
And yeah, you feel like that's where we're going, right? That's we're kind of headed in that direction.
I mean, not necessarily. This is more of like a. It's not necessarily like an Idiocracy song. It's more of like a. It's an imagined potential multiverse of where we could be going with this. I think this with Propaganda are like two different facets of kind of like the same bullshit that we kind of find ourselves being played into.
Right.
And I think that's a really important distinction to make for people. Like, it's not when you find that people are acting stupid on social media, which is pretty much most people on social media, it's not that the people are stupid and it's not their choice. It's because they're being gamed by very, very well-funded think tanks and corporations that literally can guess what you're going to do. And they're going to guide your experience, right? So when you play video games, a lot of companies use thermal imaging when they do beta testing to see like where beta testers go on the game maps, right? So like if they're beta testing a game and like all beta testers go in this little alcove and it gets stuck there and like the thermal map is red, that means that they did a bad job making that level, and they need to rethink it because clearly no one is getting it. And you bet your ass that advertising agencies, like all the software companies, they have equivalent testing and UX experience people that do that kind of like social engineering to guide you into doing the dumbest thing possible for attention, which is literally what the 140 character cap is for. Because if there's how many million, if not billion people subscribe to Twitter, how are you going to stand out in less than 140 characters by saying a really outrageous thing, right? Clearly, it's worked for Kanye. He's done it for like 15, 20 years. You just got to be dumb enough to stand out and be smart enough to know how dumb you're sounding.
Hey,
that's the key. It's like you just gotta play dumb.
That almost sounds like me, but I'm legit kind of dumb.
Man, the secret to my success is I just take a Starcadian GIF in my tweets and boom.
Yeah, that also works.
I make more GIFs. Also, I didn't make those. Rob O'Neill made them. I did not make them because I don't know how to make them. I'm stupid, and I do graphics for a living, and I still couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I'm tired. I did the effects of the video. I already did one thing today. Someone else make the GIFs.
Yeah.
My brain's sludge. I can't do a GIF.
All right. So, do we want to do a couple quick lightning round questions with the audience out there?
Do it.
All right, let's do it. So, Philrine wanted to know, is Cannibal God setting up how people eat each other on social media?
Cannibal Gods is cosmic horror Society from the 80s. If you haven't seen Society, watch it with your kids. It is totally
Society as in a movie? Is that a movie?
Yeah,
Society?
it's a movie called Society.
1989.
Okay.
Yeah, directed by Brian Usna, the guy who did Reanimator. So I was clearly joking. Never watch this with your kids. In fact, don't watch it with adults because it's a very fucked up movie. And it doesn't start well, but just stick with it. And the end, that's what the soundtrack to Cannibal Gods is too.
Oh my god.
That mixed with H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh wow.
I think they're actually they talk about this movie in Search of Darkness 3, which is coming out soon or something. I think they talk about this
I know this is rapid fire, and we already fucked this shit up.
We did.
So
we were terrible at this.
I don't care. Sue me. I'm Starcadian. So. I will say real quick, directed by Brian Usna, who did Reanimator, a fucking baller guy. He also did Dagon and all that stuff. Also, Filipino-American director, not a very heard of voice in the 80s. So fucking kudos to that, because he also used Screaming Mad George, who did the practical effects, which are fucking unbelievable. Believe me, in 2021, people still can't do shit like this.
Wow.
Unbelievable practical effects. And the guy is like the weirdest weirdo. He was like in New York in the 70s playing in a band, doing performance art, horror shit. Then he made a bunch of classic movies, and then he just disappeared.
Oh, wow.
This just Japanese dude called Screaming Mad George.
That's classic move.
Also, the director co-wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Just baller-ass people all around.
You know what we got to do? We really got to put... Jules, can we put all these links in the show notes? Because, man, we're getting a lot of good stuff. We do have show notes, and, just again, to remind you guys, you can always go to thestateofsynth.com. Every show that we do has show notes. We more or less follow a script. Sometimes... especially in my case, I go wildly off script. And in this case, we're going to drop a lot of links to some of these references that we're talking about. So I'm going to make Jules do all that work because I'm lazy. But he's adding all this good stuff right here. And you can find out about Society 1989. We have the IMDb link. We'll put that in there. Good nuggets. All right, next question, Mr. Neon Fawkes. Do you have one prepared?
Eris9 wanted to know. Eris wanted to know any shows planned. We talked about that a little bit, I think. You got any shows planned? I know because Dennis and I missed you in 2019 or 2020 March because goddamn COVID.
Even local.
Dude,
we'll live with
that. Would have been such a great show too. Serena was gonna play Primo the Alien. They're both awesome.
Yeah, Tokyo
and
Rose,
like,
I believe. Faith in the Glitch.
Yeah. And I think. Apparently, like, Debbie Harry might have made an appearance. So it's like, imagine like how far my jaw dropped when I heard like, well, I mean, we like immediately as soon as like the whole COVID shit started in like January, we were just like, should we think about canceling this? And we were really going back and forth between all the artists. You just don't want to be the fucking guy who's still playing shows when the world is ending, right? And back then, for all we knew, it was ending.
Right.
Because then you're the guy from Trapped on Twitter, and you're like head incel. Like, you don't want to be that fucking guy. You just want to be like, I don't know, so I'm just gonna hang back until figure out, what's happening. God forbid being a moderate again. So I think we made the right call. We canceled it at the right time.
Yeah.
And good thing we did too.
Yeah,
but to answer your question, nothing planned yet. I think this is going to change the music landscape forever. I will say I saw my good buddies Twerp in the Bell House last week, a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
They were fucking killer, by the way.
They're crazy, man.
Yeah, and then big crowd, but I was noticeably kind of agitated when I was outside and not backstage. It was a little, sketchy because like no one really knows the protocol. There is no protocol. There's no standardized protocol in live shows.
Right.
So,
it's true.
Do you wear a mask when you're at the bar? Do you wear a mask when you're in the front row? Do you wear a mask when you're in the back row? Like, no one knows. And
right, yeah. Like, does the person in the very front row take off the mask?
Like, no one knows anything.
No one knows. No one cares. It's like, I've done a couple shows that I went to, and same thing. And it's scary, especially for the performers, for the people there. Even if you're vaccinated or if you're not vaccinated, it's a level of risk that, and that was kind of like an important top story I think that we did, where, it is a huge step for an artist to say, hey, I'm going to go out and just, do a show. And it's very risky. It's risky financially.
I have so much respect for like Twerp because like I was like talking with them on Twitter when they were like in Pennsylvania and stuff, and they were like, oh shit, they just announced this like new variant called Omicron, and there's a state of emergency announced in New York, which as someone who lives here, I didn't even notice. No one told me. Nothing's changed. Everything is like business as usual. But it sounds really fucking scary. And you're like, oh, shit, here we go. Here's our usual fall end of the world shit. So knowing that, they came here, they played the show. And like, again, to reiterate, this isn't a fault on the Bell House. It's not, just to go back to what you said, it's not that they don't care. It's not that anyone doesn't care, because this is New York, and if anything, people here care a little too fucking much.
Right.
But you just don't know. Like, how do you handle people at a bar, people singing along, people in the bathroom or whatever? Like, you can't handle that. Like, you can't like police everything at all times. Things are going to slip.
Yep.
And you know, they're checking vaccinations at the door, so theoretically it's all good. But
yeah,
you know,
but it's
when you're dealing with a
allowed.
silent enemy, you don't fucking know anything at any point.
You do not. All right. Well, very good. Did we cover that? Was there an answer there? I forget. So you're still.
I don't know.
You're still.
I'm
yeah.
drunk.
Shows, you know what, right now,
Rapid fire my ass.
I don't know if it's safe to do. I don't know. I've been to a couple of shows lately. But, you know, fortunate, but I mean, it's so risky for the artist to be planning anything right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry, that's the question. Yes, no shows planned yet. I'm open to it.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
Hey,
you
awesome.
never
I
know.
just spent 3 years making an album.
Yeah. Well, it was time well spent.
Yes, no.
All right. Next question, Mr. Neon Fawkes. We'll give him one more and let's play a song.
All right, let's one more song. So Cal Jagger, I think, was asking if there would be any more New Sidonia multiverse songs. So I guess, does that mean, songs? Because she's saying, I think she references that New Sidonia is where your character comes from.
Right? Yeah. So, well, no. Starcadian isn't from
New Sidonia.
a certain place. No, but first of all, hi, Kalel. You're awesome. Secondly, I do not have any plan, but that's a very good question, because I initially was toying, and I still will at some point, toy with the idea of making an album that's literally the same song done in 10 different ways, which I would love to do. So yeah, just like imagine, like just totally arbitrarily, right? That I would take Sidonia and just make like a metal Sidonia, like a Toto New Sidonia, a Daft Punk New Sidonia, or some shit like that. And it's like the lyrics are the same and kind of the same chord progressions, but not strictly. And then I would see, it's kind of like,
It's a very Tom Selleck thing. I know you don't know synthwave, but they did that with, I think, one of their songs. They actually made like an EP. It was all the same song. They just did it 3 different ways. It was like 3 different interpretations.
that's great.
Yeah. It's very similar sounding to what you were thinking of.
Actually, they called it the Fright Night.
Yeah.
That was Fright Night.
Well, look at that shit.
So
Who's suing who?
Who's doing who? Aretha Franklin.
A great song.
oh man.
I thought first that you told me that like actual Tom Selleck, and I'm like, whoa, I'm fucking.
They had the
behind Tom
greatest.
Selleck.
It was
That
the
dude's
greatest
making music now.
It was the greatest concept. So Tom
The
Selleck,
undead Tom Selleck. Undead Tom Selleck, right?
they resurrect a undead Tom Selleck who's, I guess, still alive, which makes it even funnier.
Motherfucker isn't even dead.
and they're called Tom Selleck.
And it's like this, like, funky, like, you know, they got a little bit of the funk to them. It's like kind of like a funky rock kind of vibe to it. And yeah, it's like the whole Tom Selleck thing is like their whole like iconic imagery that they have.
Basically
like,
a zombie with a mustache.
It's ridiculous and awesome at the same time. Anyway, I digress.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's time to play a song.
Let's play a song.
My favorite song off this entire album, which is just dripping with juiciness, but
It's juice just dripping down your chin.
like it's like a steak. Anyway, Satellites. Let's talk about this.
Yes.
This song. Why does it sound like it belongs in the title soundtrack to a Bond movie?
Yeah, it's very movie.
I would take that gig like a fucking champ. Oh my god.
Cha-ching! Then you get your little check mark.
Oh my god.
And it's another track that is very different than, you know, all the other tracks, which is the variety is just insane. How you can just go from one to the other. But this is for me, it's like a very Steven Spielberg-y kind of intro. Like, I'm looking into the stars and I'm just like seeing the stars light up, and I'm going to see some spacecraft or something coming out of it. But it's very atmospheric, and yeah.
All I picture is topless women painted in gold.
Of course you do, Julie.
Kind of sliding past the screen with guns and bullets and shit. I see a Bond intro.
You see a Bond, huh? I see a Spielberg.
Yeah.
You see a Bond.
Damn, y'all, that's so one sees stars, the other one sees boobies. They all got all the bases covered.
It's like that blob of ink.
Never mind.
Making the trying to figure out what the blob of ink is. Everyone sees something different. It's like one of those psychological experiments.
Let's play this song. Let's do it.
We're definitely gonna have to just play it and let the audience, shout out in the chat what it makes you think of, because I'm thinking.
Do you see stars or do you see boobs?
What color is the dress?
I'm dying inside. I need
And once again, that was Satellites by Starcadian.
My God, what a song! You guys were talking about whiskeys and drink in the background.
Yes.
I'm reading the chats and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it feels like this." We got Echo Vector X. He's like, "It's Quaaludes in a hot tub on a spaceship with a big view screen looking out on the Milky Way." And then someone else is like, "Yeah, I'd be playing Elite Dangerous to this."
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh my, yeah.
So
this
you're
is,
taking people all kinds of places, man.
A funny story. I wrote that song in 2012.
What?
Yeah, the bridge, the digital sun eclipse, that was written in 2012, and the beat was written in 2012, and the progression and all that stuff.
Holy crap.
Actually, tell a lie. 2013, not 2012. I had just released Sunset Blood, and it was going really well. And I'm like, oh, I need like the next thing. I need to move to the next thing. So I was like immediately kind of sketching stuff. So at the same time, around that time, I was visiting in Dubai, family, and I was like just walking around in the dunes at night, just having like a cigarette.
Mhm.
And man, I miss cigarettes. I'm drunk, so whenever I'm drinking, I'm like, oh,
no comment.
Yeah, don't tell
Yeah.
that to Jules because he's
Dennis, play another song.
he's gonna step outside.
whole album, fuck it, I need to cry.
Oh my God.
But yes, and I just remember just trying to, just basically try to get that back in that kind of like bittersweet, weird vibe that I put myself when I wrote Hard and some other stuff, and yeah, that was but then I kind of like sat on it and tweaked it over like almost 10 years at this point. It just turned into this song with a wonderful iconoclasm again, provided some awesome vocals in the chorus. And stay tuned because that song isn't quite done yet. Might be
nice.
something funky coming out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
A little reprisal, maybe.
That's one of my favorites. That's probably the second favorite to E-Demonic.
Yeah, that's a good one. I do like that one. I like them all, really. I don't think there's not a bad one on the entire album. And for me to say that, like, I always like, there's always one I'm just like, I'm not really jiving with this. But like, I listen to this front to back, and that's one of the things I really want to know. And I think we discussed this earlier today, is the vinyl aspect. I know probably a little ways off, but I'm hoping this one gets pushed out on to wax, because this is one of them ones that you're just gonna want to put on.
I'm hoping everything gets pushed out on the wax, because ever since I started buying vinyl, like the letter S has a big gaping hole on my collection. I went at the Discogs and I'm like, of course I knew what I'd see there, and I'm like,
Jules,
I mean, I have no comment other than like the world is facing supply chain issues.
yeah.
But I don't have anything more to say just yet.
but it's
just
definitely
yet.
it's something that you are considering that
I knew it.
you would love to do. And stay tuned.
More
right?
than considering.
Stay tuned.
But like, definitely stay tuned. It's not like something years into the future, but
It won't be out by
I-
Christmas, right?
no. I hear people. I know people want it. I'm on it.
All right. Well, there you go. That's a good answer. Do we have any more questions from the audience,
Yeah.
Mr. Jules?
Earlier on, Cersine asked, and someone actually wanted to know, because they kind of echoed her thoughts, or is it her, he? Sorry, I don't know. But are the lyrics to Neon Head on Bandcamp accurate? 'Cause
Ooh.
folks are listening to Neon Head, and then they're looking at the lyrics on Bandcamp, and they're wondering, is that right? Did I hear that right?
I fucking hope so. I wrote them.
I need to think.
Here you go.
I need to think about the lyrics now.
Shit.
I'm trying to remember that one. I know the
Hold on,
song.
let me
That's another banger.
Why?
Yeah,
Did
but-
I like write a? Did I put like an N-word there by mistake or something?
No.
What's on the Bandcamp?
No, I think it's just some of the
Um,
words are. I didn't think. Maybe people are hearing them wrong in the song. Maybe they thought they were something else. We played Neon Head on our show last week. We couldn't wait.
We play it like every week.
So,
Yeah. No, they're No, they're correct. Yeah.
There you go.
I find it interesting that there's a lot of things, and it really speaks to how many layers I think are going on in your music, where things are based on mythology and imagery and previous albums and future albums, apparently, and you know, just the samples and the crazy things. And now I don't know, are we playing the last song on the album, Jules? I believe yes.
Yeah, we will play the last song on the album.
All right, so
like,
we'll discuss it there. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that point. But yeah, layers and different things that are just really interesting. That of course, as we go along, we'll talk about them. So yeah, let's. You want to play another track? Why not?
Let's do it.
All right, what do we got lined up?
Next one we got, love beats.
This one.
By the way, before we get into it, chat let Dennis and Neon Fawkes know if I'm eating fucking cheese sticks. So if I'm giving you some disgusting ASMR, let them know, because I'm hungry, but I also don't want to gross you out.
That's okay.
So I've been sneak eating cheese sticks because I'm at work. So
I mean, sometimes I eat 3-course meals while I'm doing the show, and it's you gotta eat, man.
That's disgusting. No, I'm kidding.
Gotta eat. It's all good, man. You can come on and Michael Oakley comes on and he just eats tubs of ice cream. He eats tubs of ice cream and then he just does his dishes. He's like, all right, clink, clink. So I'm doing this thing with the music, and he's just like clink, clink, clink. Let me turn on the dishwasher. Hold on. Brrr. I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's all good. Everyone, of your stature, you guys all get a pass. So Oakley got a pass. You get a pass. Cheesesteak pass.
Stature. I like that. I like this.
Yeah,
the sound
man,
of
you got
that.
some stature, man.
While you guys were makes
me feel rich.
While you guys were talking about your whiskey thing,
yes,
behind what was it, Culture of Satellites, folks we left off with when we were talking about what people see or what they imagine when you listen to Satellites. Everybody was thinking, all right, there's got to be a new meme on the internet, Starboobian.
Oh, Starboobian. That's another cool name for the episode.
Yeah, man. Just take like a kind of a Bond intro, but kind of fade in Starcadian through it.
Yeah, I like.
I know we're about to play a song, so I'm not going to delay you guys, but I will put some fucking dirty laundry out there for myself. And I am doing this because I am drunk on Japanese whiskey, and there's literally no manager or agent that can stop me. Fuck. I bought on DVD, region free. I ordered it to the UK where I lived at the time. Little Nicky. Possibly the absolute worst Adam Sandler movie. It's so bad.
God.
It's an artistic
he's the
statement.
devil, right?
Oh my God.
He's the son of the devil.
Okay.
That girl was cute though in the movie.
He's the son of the devil, sir. The devil is Rodney Dangerfield, and his minion has boobs on his head.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
It's a terrible movie, and I paid money for it. God damn it!
You actually bought it. Wow.
That's out there.
That's a commendable
folks,
effort.
If you're curious, Starcadian is drinking Akashi blended whiskey.
Yes, drink check. Mm-hmm. If you guys are out there drinking, you could be drinking water. That's cool. Hey, no judgment zone is right here. But yeah,
sure.
I found a new scotch. I'm very excited. It is Buchanan's, and it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, and it's good. And you're drinking some badass Japanese whiskey, which I gotta try out. We'll put that.
Well, apparently someone told me that most American whiskey it all comes from the same distillery, Four Roses Distillery. So if you're buying American whiskey, it's bullshit. You're still selling the same whiskey. It's just in a different barrel, which might slightly inform the taste. So I'm not an expert. Don't fucking at me on Twitter. Don't try to start an internet argument with me.
You're gonna get the whiskey snobs after you, man.
That's what someone told me.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, actually, I don't care. That's what someone told me. That's what I stick by. But anyway, Kashi, Japanese whiskey.
Kashi, I gotta check it out. If you say it's
good.
It's something that you can actually enjoy and sip.
All right, throw that in the show notes.
I'm putting in the show notes.
The show notes is gonna be like 20 pages long. It's just gonna be full of
Old
like Starcadian
blended whiskey.
old blended whiskey.
God.
Yes. All right, so let's play Love Beats, and I probably have notes for this somewhere, but we're gonna play it. I just have smooth, melodic, and funky. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. So let's play it, and then we'll chat about it and groove to it. So here it is, Love Beats by Starcadian on Night Ride FM. And that was Love Beats by Starcadian. I just love that track. I don't know why I just got like real sultry there. It's getting me in the mood. I'm telling you right now, it's just getting me in the mood. I don't know why, but you know,
There's a lot of this album that
it's
makes
smooth.
me think of Soul Train.
Yeah, it's very well. Soul Train. I said sultry, but Soul Train too. Yeah, sure. It takes me to different places, and I love that the vocals are interesting too. And I'm not really one to do this all the time, but I'm going to pick apart a lyric because I'm going to dig inside of your brain real quick. At least I got a good song out of it. That is an interesting hook. It feels like it's very meta. So, you know, I don't know. I know you're pretty cryptic with some of the songs that you put out, and a lot of it's part of, like, you know, this overarching universe. But what's going on with that one there? It's a very interesting line that I almost feel like, you know, you're either talking about like a relationship gone bad or something like that, and you know, maybe you got inspired or something to write a song, and you're like, hey, at least I got this song, you know, even though shit went south.
I mean, look, all songs in a way are like characters that you kind of like write yourself into, and I think this song was, I wanted this to be almost the counterpoint to Love Top. In a ways, it's weird, like this is a mirror. Like, the songs are mirrors to songs in Midnight Signals, but also mirrors to Song of the Sunset Blood. So it's like all three albums, like the whole trilogy, has like these interconnected symmetries to it. And yeah, the counterpoint to this would be like Love Top, which Love Top is a complete and utter proclamation of love. And this is, I wanted this to be like like a bitter, not a bitter, but like a cruel,
right?
You know,
like you're a little like jaded at this point, and you're just trying to basically, you know, salvage in the end, like figure out what, you know, what came of this whole situation.
I figured like there's a lot of love songs. There's not a lot of fuck you songs, so I figured that was the right one.
There you go, man. I love it. All right. So yeah, we're cruising right along. We might, I don't know, we might beat out Arcade High for this episode. I'm not even sure. We didn't even get to touring and events. Did we even write that stuff down?
Yes, we did.
I think we knew going in we're gonna deep dive into a lot of this stuff, and
let's whip off some album releases right now.
All right, you want to dive into a couple of those album releases? That's a good idea, because
notable things.
I guess there's another album other than this this album here that came out.
There might be.
All right, why don't we run them down real quick?
Quick shout out to Monsieur Lorelei, who joined us in the IRC.
Hey.
Over on YouTube, we got Elton Zender, who piped up. So hi, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So album releases last week, obviously, Radio Galaxy dropped, and let's see, we've got Color Theory dropped his new album, Mages, last week. Today, on, I believe it's Fixed, right? Or is it New Retrowave? LeBrock dropped their album Fuse, the instrumental version.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know why anybody would want to listen to LeBrock instrumental, because without Shawnee P's voice, that's kind of like having a peanut butter sandwich without peanut butter.
Or the bread.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, if you like bread. Okay, this Friday, December 10th, Caspro is dropping his new EP called Secluded.
Yeah.
And our friend Icarus, his new album, Dancing in the Dark.
Go order that.
And I've said this before. I want a Starcadian and Icarus like collab and a music video. So like the two hooded ones, that would be awesome.
Icarus is fucking awesome. I co-sign Icarus. Icarus is the shit.
He's amazing.
There you go. Hey, if Icarus, if you're listening. Also, Aeronexus from the UK is dropping some new stuff called Hyperspeed on Friday. And then, let's jump to January 7th, the new year. Yeah, our friend Dimmy K's got his new album, Cruising to the Sun. It's going to drop. And then Dance with the Dead has been teasing. I think it's an album coming out January 10th, Driver to Madness.
Wow, look at that. Dance with the Dead. Go ahead.
They're back.
So Drive Her to Madness or Driver to Madness?
Driver as in like the driver to madness.
Driver to Madness.
Yeah, so I think it's a play on words there.
Driver to Madness. Let's go.
Driver, I barely know her.
There you go. Oh, it sounds
All
about
right,
as
I'm done. We got you,
Nice.
boys. We're done.
All right. So speaking of getting crazy and wacky and just being like just out there, we're gonna go ahead and drop this track.
Good segue. Crazy and wacky. Let's go to this track.
Multiverse Market. Let's talk about this track because I am like, again, like, this album takes me to so many different places. This really does. This might be like the very first album that really just takes me to like a completely other universe. It really does. And like, I think it's a very Star Warsy. Like, I keep thinking of like somewhere on Andor. I don't even know if that's a place in Star Wars universe. Andor, some planet. Is it a real planet? I don't even know. I'm just making shit up. I thought. But yeah, so like there's this market and like again, Aborigine aliens. It's in my mind. Like it's this weird foreign place, and the moaning, like what the actual fuck? Period. Question mark. Double question.
The morning is Neon Fawkes listening to Satellite.
There you go.
I just sampled them.
It's so unique. It's a unique sound.
The inspiration for that was, believe it or not, White Zombie.
What?
Which, yeah. One of the first, one of the cassettes that I wore down to a fucking, filament was Astro Creep 2000.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a fucking stunning, it really is a stunning achievement of an album. Like, go back and listen to it, put yourself in someone's shoes that was there when it first came out, and think of, just wrap your head around the sampling going on in that. Never mind the guitar, the vocals, all the production, that's smooth as butter. Listen to the sampling. And there's a song that I don't know if I have synesthesia or not, but if I do, I know that the song Blood, Milk, and Sky triggers it like a motherfucker. It's the last song on the album, and it just takes me to places. I can't even see straight when I listen to that song. And yeah, that was the inspiration. It's like just the amazing kind of oral world building that they did with the production on that album, and to a degree with the Hellbilly Deluxe solo album by Rob Zombie.
All right, well, that's an amazing setup. I would never even have guessed Rob Zombie, and shit, put that on the note sheet. Go ahead, Jules, and because I'm gonna have to listen to that again. Like, I feel like I have to do homework after the show just to get caught. I gotta get caught up to you, man. I gotta get caught up, and I'm not even close to there. So we're gonna play this, and you're just gonna hear this crazy. What did you sample? What did you sample? I want to know. Was it some cow that was did you hurt any cows in this album? Please say no.
No, this is
no cows were harmed.
Actually, I have no fucking idea where I got that song from. I know it's legal. I didn't just rip it off something.
Right.
But
you didn't take it off a Makeup and Vanity Set album or anything like that. It's legit.
I can't remember, but I think I know I sampled these things myself, so it's probably Greece or Middle East or something, where I was just like, this is a great sound. And it's just pitched down. And slowed down. So it's not like there was an actual person or an animal just going, oh,
it's incredible.
For 3 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, that stuff is gonna make for a good song. I didn't do that. And then the last part of it, where it goes into this that kind of chill hop beat, that was entirely done on my phone on Ford Capture, and I made that beat years ago, and I was like, I really need to use this somewhere. I don't think it's a full song, but like it's just.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes, so
like
it's a nice time. It's like literally exactly 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
How'd you even do that? Just make a song like exactly 2 minutes. Was that something you were like?
No, man. I actually didn't even know it was 2 minutes.
How does math work? I don't even know.
I legit didn't know it was 2 minutes. You just told me. I don't know.
It's literally it's exactly 2 minutes. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and play it and revel in its beauty. And here it is. This is Multiverse Market right here by Starcadian on Night Ride FM. Once again, that was Multiverse Market with
There, I just called it.
the cows.
That Space Cows.
Space
that should have been in a
Cows.
Luke Besson movie.
Yes.
That should
Have
been
you
in,
seen
like,
that?
Fifth Element.
Have you seen that YouTube video by Syriac called Cows? It might be called Cows. I think it's just Cows. It's like this 2D animator, and it's this batshit crazy YouTube animation that just starts with like cows just jumping around in the field, and it's like After Effects animation. And then it just gets progressively weirder, and they start morphing, and it's nightmarish.
It's like the Badger song.
I don't know that one, but
I'm looking at it right now.
The badgers just keep multiplying.
Okay, yeah, these cows start like turning into balls and bouncing around and stuff.
All right, put that link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Everything's going in the show notes.
Oh my god, you know what? I gotta, folks, gotta stick this in.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh, amazing. And you know what else is fun, Jules and Starcadian? Birthdays are really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and
it's that time of the show.
Yeah, let's do a quick birthday round, and then we'll get back with some more music. Maybe we'll field a couple more questions from the listeners, and yeah, that sounds like a plan. So let's go for it.
All right, quick shout out to Trar, who joining us and leaving us and joining us.
Yes,
the usual IRC.
Make your mind up.
Yes, it's usually disconnections on mobile, which happens on the IRC.
All right, birthdays today. One of my favorite artists from he bounces between the East Coast, U.S. and Hawaii. Zenith Vol over on the Aztec record label.
Yeah,
he's got a birthday today, so happy birthday to him.
Hawaii.
And then tomorrow, my fellow Canuck over in Calgary, Netrunner, is celebrating a birthday on December 9th. December 10th, Marvel 83 is celebrating a birthday. And then on the 12th, Techno Mage, Dan Butler, is going to be celebrating a birthday. And then get this, on the 13th, there's a whole bunch of birthdays. Max Cruz from Down Under.
Nice.
is celebrating a birthday, as well as Finnish artist Delta Wave 82. We've seen him on some streams, as well as Overvad and Kid 1988 and Cynthia Decibel Shock. That's all going down on December 13th, and on the 14th, Carbon Killer.
Carbon
France.
Killer.
Yeah,
Nice.
Birthday.
When's your birthday, Starcadian? Do you have a birthday?
My birthday, I'm a Leo.
What is that? March?
That's August.
I don't know
August,
shit.
August 12th, yeah.
Yeah, early August.
Well, very good.
I'm vain. I look after my mane. I'm full of shit. I'm bombastic, and I talk about myself a lot.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
enjoy interviewing me, motherfuckers.
We always do. We always do. The thing I like about you is it's always a very fun conversation because there's a lot of anecdotes and, you know, you have a lot of really cool, like, references, I think, that you kind of come across. And, of course, it all gets kind of, like, funneled into your music, which I find fascinating. Like, every little thing that you talk about, just, I feel like it's part of what makes you and the music that you make. And, yeah, it's funky as shit. We dig it, and you're probably one of our favorite guests to have on. And, you know, you can always come on anytime you want, man. Anytime.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys a lot, too.
So we're going to talk
my
about...
favorite interviews.
So speaking of, you know, propaganda and bullshit and all kinds of stuff that people put out.
This track.
This track here, this is kind of like I feel like this is the song that you released as a single, right, on the album?
It's like the first track.
Propaganda?
It's the instant gratification track when you pre-ordered it. Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to have time and budget to make a video for Propaganda, because I feel like I would go out of my way to make a video that would, like, insult everyone, everything, and just
reply. Don't forget to subscribe.
But it's so true.
I legitimately feel like I have a gland somewhere in my brain that just says, "Go on, make an enemy out of everyone, piss someone off, piss everyone off." I'm not like a contrarian. Well, I guess I am a contrarian, but like, I don't know. Like, I see more than 100 people doing the same thing. I kind of want to question it.
Right.
At least I just want to look at it and be like, is this worth like 100 people's attention? And like, that's kind of, in no way, kind of tangentially, that's kind of what propaganda is about. It's the fact that, like, all this social media is creating, like, monkey spheres. You know, the theory of, like, monkey spheres, and like just little bubbles of stupidity that, again, doesn't mean that the people themselves are stupid. They're being imposed. They're being forced to act stupid.
Right.
Because that's the UX experience that, like, gently guides them into stupidity. And
they constantly have to up it, you know?
Yeah. And it's also kind of like people that are smart enough to recognize that this is happening, so they play into it and they double down. Like, you see a lot of YouTubers that kind of like just like, and like, you know, again, not to harp again on the guy because he's clearly like a fucking dumpster fire, but Kanye West, he knows what he's doing. I'm not sure that I 100% believe that the guy is mentally ill. I have very close friends that are mentally ill, and I don't know that his level of involvement with business and success is necessarily something that if he was as mentally ill as he says he is, I don't know that it's something that he would, like, mentally be able to handle emotionally and empathetically. So which is what he's like, calling that as a mental illness is also an insulting thing to people with mental struggles. Right. So
yeah, I totally get that.
I'm veering away from the point, but the point being, if you're fucking cynical and, like, diseased enough to use this UX manipulation to your advantage,
if you celebrate this poison,
you're kind of a piece of shit. And like, you're a rich piece of shit, but like, when you're a dead piece of shit, you're not rich anymore. So I don't know. I mean, unless you got a bunch of kids that you can kind of like transfer your money to.
Right.
By the way, I'm reading in your time, but I read somewhere rich people that there's a very clever way to get around taxes, and when you do get around taxes and you die before your time, there's a way, if you're massively in debt, you can basically transfer your money to your kids without them inheriting the debt. And I think
that surprised me.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, watch Society. Just watch Society. Just don't have any kids around when you watch it, but watch Society. Massively clever film. But yeah, basically the long story short is, without me rambling too much, and then we're like 2 hours in, and all I've done is ramble, is if you basically have a shitload of money and you have a bunch of aggressive stocks, but you also take loans, the interest that you take, if you're rich, the interest they will give you on your loans will be less, it will be lower than your income from the stocks. So basically you'll be making money on borrowed money.
While the rest of us pay crazy interest on loans.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And you don't pay the loans when you die, and then when your kids inherit it, they don't have to pay off the debt.
Yep.
How fucking wackadoo is that?
That's insane.
That's fucking crazy.
That's some propaganda bullshit right there.
Anyway, roll the song.
Just do it.
No, seriously,
roll the song right under the cheesesteak.
All right, so we're gonna take a cheesesteak break, and we're gonna drop some propaganda on y'all. Man.
Oh, by the way. Oh, wait. You know what? By the way, so Glitch Gunner over in the IRC, it's his birthday today, so I just want to say happy birthday and hi to Lord Pigger.
Hey. Hello.
Happy birthday, Glitch Gunner, and hi, Lord Pigger.
There we go. All right, let's play it.
All right, here we go. This is Propaganda by Starcadian right here on Night Ride FM.
Your current paradigm will break down. Down, down, down. In 12 years, all your currency will be follows an amateur porn. All nations are online. You will all be assigned a URL. Of the internet will battle for influence and likes. Only those who survive until they're 25 will return. Many will burn. I've used all my outrage points to reach you before it's too late. In a year or two, you must stop the review that starts it all. will fall. Smash, reply. Don't forget to subscribe. 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 I sure could use a little. Can make me feel okay. You play me like a fiddle. The webs are making me stay. I really need to hear some. To make it through all day. The new reality's a scandal. Give me that propaganda. Propaganda.
Get that time out of my face. I got a broken record, a broken ship, and a couple of broken hearts. But this music is gonna steer us through the Heart Nebula and into your brain.
Wow.
This next one goes out to all the intergalactic booty shakers. Jiggle that space junk. That's your cue for the record. Play the record.
All right, once again, that was Propaganda by Starcadian. And yeah, the end of that is just crazy, batshit crazy.
Oh, you got some of that at the beginning of the album too, right?
Play the record. It's great, man.
So yeah, I just told you guys that's actually Rob O'Neill doing the voice of the DJ.
Oh, wow.
Who is Screaming Dava is the name of the DJ.
Screaming Dave.
You can look up the rest of that.
Oh my God, more show notes, man. Put that down.
By the way, this show tonight is brought to you by Polio String Cheese Mozzarella, low moisture part skim mozzarella cheese. Throw us some money, you cheap fucks. I'm putting it back in the fridge before I get fired.
Oh, I love it.
By the way, quick shout out to Roads Explored over on YouTube and Mr. OX03 who joined us in the art.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, I gotta ask though, is there some influence from Freak Night in that song? Because the funk, the left, right, just I don't know.
Are you asking if I influenced myself?
Yes.
I think he is. Yeah.
Is there a callback?
I have some notes here. I have, this is what I have. I have The Groove. I have Prince. I have The Ding. I have The Ding as the notes. That was the first thing I wrote. I love the fact that you have this, like, this ding.
What is The Ding?
The ding is, I guess it's like towards like the bridge, no. It's part of one of the verses, and you know, the computer's saying things about, you know, you're going to compete for likes, and that's going to be the currency, the likes and porn and stuff like that. And at one point you do this like thing where you have this like ding. It's almost like a hotel bellhop type of thing. That
I thought you meant like it was about the ding that influenced. I'm like, what the fuck is the ding? Are they like fixed?
You know, a ding
it's
along.
like it's like
Yeah,
a slur
ding-a-ling.
word that I'm using. Yes, you know those dings. They like your music, and it's.
I was like, God damn, don't make me look bad. I don't know who the fuck the ding is.
No, for real though. Like, I love the fact that and it's so out of place, but it also feels like it just absolutely belongs in that track. Like, just some of the sounds that you put together, like that ding, like the little bell ding. It was It was like really cool.
Or maybe
and fun.
Z said maybe it's a notification bell on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Smash
Yeah,
reply. Don't forget to subscribe. Ding.
Exactly.
See, Z thinks that
So
things
it's
like
funny.
smartly.
I was writing that song when you guys last interviewed me. When I was in Boston, I was stuck in like a hotel room,
no shit.
and I was writing that song. I was actually, writing a lot of Radio Galaxy at that point. Like the final touch, because most of it was pretty much.
Wow.
But yeah, I was just like, I need a song. Because, I mean, there's just still Trump years, still people just fucking tearing each other apart online. I mean, not that we don't anymore, but it was pretty comical back then.
It got dirty, real dirty.
And I was just like, wow, this is that both sides are just fucking stupid at this point. It's sad. So I was kind of starting to, like most people, see that, we're basically we have a cottage industry based on culture and hot takes. And it doesn't matter what the hot take is, because you can drop an N-word on Twitter and say something stupid and completely morally bankrupt. And it's fine because you'll get ratioed, but getting ratioed still gets you visibility.
Right.
And like conflating fame with infamy is, to me, it's really fucking worrying that people don't see the difference between fame and infamy. And the fact that, like, I don't know, I mean, I can't think of any particular examples right now. There's too many of them. But the fact that you're like famous for doing something stupid rather than being famous for making art is the same thing now. And it is. It just is. That's facts.
It's when people have sex tapes and like they're famous for having a sex tape. Not that there's anything wrong with having a sex tape, but
you could argue that's what started it. I mean, I think that always was there. I think back in Roman times, I don't think an hero would have detracted people from starting rumors about him being a psychopath that played the violin. I don't think Herod would discourage rumors about him hating kids, because if you do entertainment, and I include politics in that, for a living, then you realize after your first 10 years that outrage and hot takes gets the visibility, the likes, the clicks.
Right.
Even before the internet, right? Even before the internet, like, the wackier you get. That's why Boris Johnson's not a fucking idiot. Right?
He knows what he's doing.
He ruffles his hair on purpose. The fact that people don't understand that he does this on purpose.
It's so you don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
And that way he can.
But you also remember him. Who knows who the head of the parliament is in England? Fucking no one. But everyone knows who Boris Johnson is. You know what I mean? And like that's the thing. If you want to be a politician, you have to be an entertainer. If you want to be an entertainer, there's so many of us. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. You better be really entertaining.
Right.
Like, outrageously so. Will that make you look like a fucking idiot? Probably. A rich idiot.
Right. Exactly.
And I think at that point, I don't want to eat your time, so you can tell me to shut up whenever. But the blame doesn't lie with these people, right? Because people might do that because their only way out is to really just go balls crazy to get the attention, which I respect. You do what you do.
Yep.
The onus and the blame lies with us for not catching it, recognizing it, and realizing that we're being fucking played. And that's the worst part to me. To me, it's not the fact that you have onerous, morally iffy character traits, or that you push toxic, dangerous, incel or whatever alt-right ideas into the world. That's bad, but it's not the worst part. The worst part is, it's the fact that you get played.
There's not enough skeptics in the world. People need to be skeptical.
And that's the thing. To clarify, I am not just. This isn't just a diatribe on like alt-right people and incel people and all that stuff. If there's one thing I've learned from this like shadow catcher situation is, and as we all learned in the COVID situation, is that the left has just as many fucking grifters.
Oh yeah.
All these like remember all the fucking Twitter heroes in 2020, like all the Brooklyn Dad Defiant and that guy that looks like Eric Clapton on Twitter, who just is brave enough to tweet like, "Oh my God, Trump said this today. My 5-year-old has more intellect." Like, yeah, okay, all right, that's such a brave, and interesting and productive thing to put into the world that is going to get retweets, because if you don't retweet that, you're probably a Trumper. So it's like, what are you doing with your life?
You're gaming that.
This is your job. This is your profession.
Yep.
Stating the obvious so you can, I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm saying is people, I think entertainment has turned into a toxic wasteland of trying to top an overly congested field, rather than, you're probably not going to be rich, you're probably not going to be famous before you die, chances are, but you can leave something that will change art. That's the fucking point. That's the only point of art. That you make something that will contribute to this big quilt that is art, and people can stand on your shoulders if your work is giant enough. And that is pure luck, circumstance, and, kismet. That's all that art is. You're just contributing to a quilt. Not like, fucking just saying the most outrageous things and like, I don't know, setting fire to puppies on TikTok, because that'll get you in the algorithm.
Yeah.
The algorithm.
Don't set
the fucking algorithms.
Puppies. Yeah. They're nuts, man. They're absolutely nuts. And, it's one of them things where eventually I think people are going to catch on, and I think people are. I think laws are coming down. I think people are getting smarter, and they're starting to realize that they were taken to a place, and I got sucked up into a lot of that as well.
Everyone
we
did.
all
Everyone
did. Yeah,
did.
I mean,
everyone gets played.
And you come to a point where you're like, even my wife just said, you were never into politics before. What's up with you? Like,
that's the thing.
And I'm like,
no one was political until 2016.
Right. And I'm like,
suddenly everyone is a fucking expert.
You know
Because
what?
Now
wasn't.
all our politicians look like WWE characters. So now it's easy to get on board.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been saying is like, music is dead, right? Like politics is the new music, because there's no one interesting right now in music. All the interesting people, and by interesting, I don't mean that as a compliment. All the interesting people are in politics, right? There's no WWF or WWE. There's no music like, oh, are you Team Blur or are you Team Oasis? Go fuck yourself. It's Team Trump or Bernie, like it was in 2016.
Yeah,
we've changed like 50 teams by then. That's the thing that I just want people desperately to see, that like people are playing you into coming up with fucking edgelord hot takes, and you don't have to.
Right.
You just don't, because Twitter is not it's not the real world. And I'm saying all this, keep in mind, right? I'm on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram like half the day. Is it market research? I don't know. No, I'm just every time I poop, I go to TikTok. Every time I have a downtime, I go to Twitter. I check what people say.
Yeah.
You don't read newspapers on the toilet anymore.
No, I don't even read anymore. We talked about this before we started recording. Like, I don't have. Granted, because I work myself to the bone.
Yeah.
But I don't really read that much anymore, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
But also, we've been conditioned not to read. And also, I mean, I think, honestly, the time that I started not reading anymore was probably the time that I started getting into, like, Wikipedia, reading online articles. Because when you get information distilled and compressed like that, and hope to God that it's accurate and factual, then why would you want to read through someone's masturbatory, expounding into, like, 1,000 pages of something you just read in a paragraph? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You learn
there were actual, like, blankets with given to the Native Americans. You could just read the story of how, like, people destroy the Native Americans in this country in less than a couple of paragraphs. You don't need to buy a bloated book to get the real information on it, right?
Yeah.
But it there's a shame to that. But also, I think you don't want to sound like a fucking boomer and be like, man, back in my day, we had to read 3,000 words in order to get one fact. Like,
right.
It's great that there's stuff like Wikipedia and, like,
I had to carry my synth up the hill both ways.
Yeah, man. What's up with that? Yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating. It's really good to think about that, and it's also good that you can actually get a lot of that from the album. I think that your ideas and a lot of the conceptual stuff, I think it really comes through, especially in, of course, propaganda. So hats off.
Culture as well,
Yeah, for sure. Go out, get this album. It's really, honestly, it's one of my favorite albums of the year. And you know what? Go deal with the world, the real world sometimes. You know, you don't always have to be, stuck on the internet. Get out there and do some real things, go out in the world and, explore and meet people. And I tell you what, Jules.
I saw this segue coming a mile away. Go out into the world.
This is like $1 million segue. In fact, I think some people should pay me for this segue. Speaking of going out into the world, we have these things called touring and events and entertainers going out there entertaining people in the real world. So why don't we go ahead and let's dive into a little bit of our touring and event news, Mr. Jules.
All right. Well, tomorrow night,
Where's my money?
You're in Brooklyn, if you're in New York, Brooklyn, you can see Bunny X along with Jason Priest and Janice Rose performing.
Really?
So, yeah.
Bunny X is awesome.
I want to go to that show. Oh, man.
Yes.
I want to go to that show.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. And let's see, on Saturday, down in the Twin Cities, St. Paul, Nitrowave TC has got their big thing going down with Makeup and Vanity sets, Tonebox, D-Notive, and Baldocaster.
Oh, that's a sick set.
Yeah.
Makeup and Vanity set is one of the nicest people ever, by the way. He's super cool, and this shit's amazing, too.
Yep.
So there you go, St. Paul. Enjoy.
Very good.
Let's see, at the end of the year, December 29th, if you're in San Diego, you can enjoy the end of the year Synthwave Party. Street Cleaner, Buy an Ion, Missing Words, and Teal.
Nice.
Teal with threes. Yep. And then, let's see, after the new year, February 5th, so this was supposed to happen December 11th as well, this Saturday, but because of the new Omicron variant, Paris had to change their rules, so Wave Defender 3, which was supposed to take place in Paris, has been pushed to February 5th, and that was going to be with Orax, Absolute Valentine, Famicom, and Simia. So yeah,
very nice.
It's not Saturday anymore, it's February 5th. And then one last thing to mention, Carpenter Brute has announced their tour dates for late next year.
Yes.
Carpenter Brute is going to be on tour, and he says that he'll announce North American dates in the coming weeks.
That's exciting.
So that starts, if you're in Europe, October, November 2022, Carpenter Brute's going to be coming to town.
Very good. Very good. Go out and see some shows. See some real people. Do some real stuff with real people and stuff.
Before I forget, before we jump into our last Starcadian track of the night.
Yeah.
Big Lanids had a question for Starcadian. Sorry it took so long to get to this, but so he says, shortly after the album was released, you said you were blown away by the support it received since you hadn't showed us the heart and soul of it yet. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not. There's no secret album. Don't put that fucking pressure on me. There's no secret album. But
that means there's a secret album. You know what that means, right?
I wish I had the time and money to make an album and they'd be like, surprise!
There's a whole second album
that I did with like Oliver or some shit. Oh my god, that would
be
amazing.
Something, yeah.
Full disclosure, right? All the marketing you've seen is me. I do all the visual effects. I do the editing and the marketing. I haven't paid a single person followers for like promotion, for nothing. So this next piece of marketing related to Radio Galaxy, I haven't decided when it's gonna appear. Not because of any other reason other than like I don't think it's ready quite yet.
So there's more marketing. Released? There's more to the album?
Yeah.
There's just a thing related to Radio Galaxy coming out at some point soon, very soon.
Oh man, action figures. Action figures.
No.
Hey,
but shout out to Plastic Geek, who made these fucking unbelievable Starcadian action figures, of which I have the prototypes in my house. So it's up to him, right? So he's gonna sell them at some point. All profits will go to him because he, out of the good of his own heart, made them, and he's gonna sell them and do all that stuff. So he should deserve every fucking cent. So I don't know when. I'm not privy to when he's gonna release them, if he's gonna release them, how he's gonna like ship them, all that stuff. But I do know that they're fucking cool as hell, and the packaging is fucking super cool. It legitimately looks like Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
action figure from like the original.
Man.
I would get them. But yeah, back to the thing, music video. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but it will be soon. And I mean, there's a part of me, the drunk part of me, that kind of really wants to talk about it.
Well, we only have we're like the number 20th listened to synthwave news podcast, right, Jules?
Yeah.
We only have like 5 listeners, so I mean,
there's
people in the know.
Synthwave.
No, we're just making it up.
Why the fuck do we need 20
This is a really just
actually we've lost a bunch.
Some self-deprecating humor on my part. We always joke around. Andy Lass always calls himself the number 1 synthwave chat. What is it? Chat podcast? I don't know. Whatever the hell he talks about. Chatcast there is, and then radio. What is it? Radio. Forever Synth. They left. And then they were like,
now our friends down in
TV
land are shutting down Neo Radio.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, I know. Hey, it takes just a heavy dose of stupidity first and foremost, just to be in it for this long.
So you're number 1, basically.
There you go. Yeah, we
killed off the competition.
By process of elimination, yes.
By attrition, we are number 1. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty rad.
The number 1 synthwave news podcast that's on Night Ride FM at 9 o'clock, usually Wednesdays. Yes,
right then.
There it is.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna come out soon, and it is the absolute heart of what it took to make this album. Mm-hmm. And it's like, for me, it's a very emotional subject because it really kind of like drove me to finish the album, and it was, I mean, I can't even get into like how hard it was for me to finish the album. Running on fumes is the understatement of the year. Like, we've all had a tough year. Based on previous life experiences, I had a particularly tough year, by my standards. Like, I've had the toughest year of my life, so it was definitely like a big home stretch, and this thing that will come out to me is the crown jewel of the album. And I think that to hint at something, I think Neon Fawkes particularly would enjoy it, and it's not boobs. It's not my boobs. They're pretty good, but they're not my boobs.
Bouncing though.
Something's got to be bouncing. All right, so
you might bounce, but like yeah.
We'll be pleasantly surprised at the awesomeness that is coming. That may or may not be in the form of something of a something.
Yes.
And stay tuned.
Made by someone.
Made by someone. So there it is. We laid it all out for you guys. Do your sleuthing.
Simple.
All right.
Let's do this. This track, because it's got some interspace in it.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
And I'll drop some tidbits on it.
Drop the tidbits. Right. We're going to call it out right now. We're going to play Casualty and
Causality.
Causality.
God damn it, I'm drunk.
Damn amateurs. God damn it.
Causality.
Hey, I did say we were the top 20 synthwave news podcast, right?
Rinky dink 20th synthwave podcast. God damn it.
Part of the thing is I can't read. Causality, the drums, the chord changes, and the epic solo, and the hidden track. Is it a hidden track? Can you do a hidden track really with a MP3? It's kind of, when you watch it on Spotify, you're like, I know there's another minute left to this song. It kind of like
queen.
Remember the old days when you would listen to a tape and the tape would end and you're like, I don't know.
Or you stick a CD in the last track. You don't
right.
You just let it play.
Or it'll skip itself up to like track 133 or something like that.
Speaking of that, actually, this was a little inspired by, I know he was a piece of shit, and I fully admit that he's a piece of shit, but when I was 15, my dad went all up and down the country to find a copy of his first album, or second album, Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar, which as a fucking fat, fucking hormone-ridden teenager, I was like, yeah, this is really fucking badass.
He was the shit back then. Hey,
he was the shit.
He was huge.
Great album. My point being that, however many tracks is the album, and then like 80-something tracks that are 0 seconds, and then the last track is just like this abstract, weird thing. And I always thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah. But also, he's a piece of shit rapist, allegedly. So I just don't. Allegedly. Because he's weird and creepy.
He's a weird dude, yeah. I'll give you that. But the thing I like about this track, I love the pipe organs, because you know what? There's not enough pipe organs in music, Like, I think that was the part in the actual hidden track, right? The pipe. Yeah. It's so atmospheric, and I just think it's like it's just a really cool ending for the album. It just really kind of it puts it in a whole other like universe. I feel like it really kind of it's kind of like that plot twist at like the very end of a movie where you're just like, oh shit, it just like it completely changes the vibe, and that pipe organ just really, it's so powerful,
that was kind of like, I wanted to kind of like, so you've probably noticed that like Midnight Signals gently guided people away from like the standard synthwave like dun 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 bullshit, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but like here's some like kind of cooler stuff. And then this album, of course, did it again with like Midnight Signal was cool, but like here's this other weird shit. So I think to me,
here's this other weird shit. I love it.
Yeah, this is a song that I wrote years ago actually, and planting the seeds for a future project. But the organs are kind of a way to be like, this is that, like, there's other world. There's other aesthetics out there, other multiverse vibes out there. Yeah. And on top of that, just a layer, and I know I cannot fucking shut up tonight, so please stop me for running out of time. But
what's time? There's no time in the multiverse.
one thing that I started doing in like as soon as I did Saturdays, right? I was like, my next album is going to be a 2-album deal, and I had like the whole concept down, but I also wanted it to be. Remember, 2017 was the year that fucking everyone died, and we thought that was a bad year.
Yep.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
How fucking cute! How fucking adorable!
Betty White survived though.
Yeah, Betty
God
White
bless her heart.
fucking buried all of us.
Wrap
and
her
Keith
in
Richards.
bubble wrap. I swear to God, wrap her in bubble wrap.
I don't know what bubble wrap is, but he sounds safe. So, but yeah, 2017 was the year that like fucking just everyone started dying, and like the year ended, and then Lemmy died like the first thing next year, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, would people just fucking stop dying?
Yeah.
And my like that kind of made me kind of pivot and be like, okay, whatever I do next, every song needs to be inspired by people that I've idolized that we lost this year. So that included Prince, Chris Cornell. So Gutter was inspired by Chris Cornell dying, and again, like Soundgarden was like the band to me when I was a kid. Like I was fucking heartbroken when they broke up, and like Super Unknown. My first 2 CDs were Super Unknown and Crash Test Dummies, God Shuffled His Feet, which don't be fucking hating on that album because it's amazing.
No, it's good stuff.
And also, if you can find, I don't know if it's not on Spotify. There's an album by the Crash Test Dummies called I Don't Care That You Don't Mind that is amazing. Very Southern Gothic sound, or like Canadian Gothic sounding.
He had a very unique voice. Very unique.
And it's like a beautiful, haunting kind of album. I highly encourage people to hunt that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Super Unknown was like just the time signatures on that fucking album. And then obviously every other Soundgarden album is just mind-blowing what they did with time signatures while keeping it popular and catchy and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So there's that, obviously, Prince, who there's never been anyone funkier. There's like tons of people, and like basically almost like Walter Becker from Steely Dan, Pollyanna was a tribute to him. So there's like a lot of almost every song in Midnight Signals, and most of the songs in Radio Galaxy are also I kind of snuck in a tribute to my childhood idols and how like I kind of they influenced me. And to tie it all back, Causality, Organs in the end, that is a tribute to the great keyboard player of Emerson, Lake and Palmer that we lost. He took his own life.
Wow.
And if the story is correct, he took his own life because he felt that his motor skills were deteriorating because of a disease.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. I'm not going to assume why he took his own life, but you know, if it like, I don't know who floated it out there that it's like that was the reason he lived. I don't think it's that simplistic and binary. I think someone of that age has like families to live for. He has like relationships and a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. But it's a poetic way of looking at it. And regardless, we lost him. He defined the hard rock sound more than anyone else. Maybe Deep Purple. But that was also a tribute to him on top of it being an already existing song that none of y'all motherfuckers have heard yet.
Well, amazing thing. One more thing I want to talk about before we drop it.
Yeah.
We covered the pipe organs. I want to know, like, the cryptic sounds at the end. Like, it doesn't mean it. Like I feel like every song by Starcadian means something on like about 50 different levels. I'm listening to the end of this hidden track, and the way that you filter and EQ these samples, it's almost like somebody reading something into like a megaphone or some sort of like loudspeaker. And it's very like it's very entrancing. It's very robotic. It's very It's very systematic. Like, is that just a sample you found, or is that like, is there deeper meaning? I have no idea what she's saying. I have no idea.
There's a lot of good theories. There's a lot of good theories out there. I will say this: if it took me 8 years to write Satellites, and it took me 3 years to wrap this album up after Midnight Signals, and I was planning this album when I was wrapping up Sunset Blood, then you can safely assume that nothing is a mistake in this album, down to the last fucking snare.
God,
you know, like
You're gonna make me think now.
To my detriment, and it's not like I make fucking millions of dollars out of this or I get written about. Like, I don't give a shit. I do this for me because I want to make something that to me is monumental, that to me it encapsulates my life up to this point, and hopefully other people can relate to it. And it's like this, I want to make the fucking, no one knows about it. Someone finds it and they lose their fucking mind because it just opens up this like cosmic, like, perspective. That's the end goal for me, to make the album that drives you crazy. And like, I do my best. I'm still just a guy, but I do my best to put in as much effort as I humanly can to make everything as deep as I can, knowing what my dumb little monkey brain knows, and try to give people enough to kind of dig deeper and deeper and deeper, rather than just put random shit together.
All right, so it's
but
not
I will
random.
say, the one person who said that there's a secret message that I'm about to announce a live tour, you're wrong. I wish you were right, but you're wrong.
God bless you.
I don't have a booking agent. I don't have anything.
Yeah. All right, so
I will say the tour was great, but yeah.
I'm going to read the... apparently, it seems like it's numbers. And a quick shout-out to Big Landis and Darren for coming up with the numbers, which I couldn't hear a damn thing. Again, I'm getting old. 427-000. And then there's a possibility of having an extra zero. So optional last zero, 427-000. You guys can work that out, and I want to put this out there too. You've got a Discord.
It means there's a live tour coming.
It means there's a live tour coming.
Vinyls are dropping on the 27th of April.
Yes.
And
Starcadian is coming to Philly.
I'm running for president.
Yes.
And he's running for president. But it's on another planet.
My party is called the Fartcadian Party. I said this in 2011. I will fucking say it now. I'll say it in 2030 if I make it that far. Fart step is the new genre.
There you go.
We're gonna get there. I don't care. I will die on that hill. Also, never doing another interview on Japanese whiskey. Never again.
That's right. No, we love you on Japanese whiskey. You get the best Starcadian, that way. It's good.
Let's play this last Starcadian track.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna try it when we come back. We're gonna close out the show, and
we're gonna try to put it all back together.
Two more questions from Danny before we say our good nights.
All right.
I'm surprised people are still listening.
People are hanging on your every word. Like, just a quick side note too. We had a little bit of a problem. Long story short, we were unable to get Starcadian on a proper laptop with a proper mic. So he's rocking it on his iPad. So that's why we have a little bit of our ins and outs of the audio. But nobody cares, man. They're literally hanging on your every word.
Am I going in and out, or just the one time it happened?
A little bit. It's kind of like, again, we're doing this on Discord, and I love Discord, but not so good for interviews. But here we are, hanging on every freaking word your drunk ass is saying, and we love it. We absolutely love it.
Shout out to a Starcadian fan who finally popped into the IRC.
Yeah.
I was like, we got Starcadian on, and I don't see Starcadian fan in the IRC chat.
Go figure. Anyway, this is Causality by Starcadian right here on Night Ride FM. Zip Xavier is a nun. I figured it out. Who the hell is Zip Xavier?
Zip Xavier is a fucking Kurt Vonnegut character.
No, he's not.
I don't know.
And I know that because I'm a Kurt Vonnegut junkie. I'm like the biggest Kurt Vonnegut junkie.
That was some like Daft Punk shit right there.
That was wild. Like honestly, that ending is just I'm done.
All right, you know what? Let's do this. We are coming up to the end of the show.
Done.
Danny's got some questions.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Hi,
first of
Danny.
all, I'm gonna ask them out of order here. But how did you feel when you saw that the bad guy in the Squid Game TV show on Netflix stole your look?
Oh.
But by the way, that's a good show. I
was
like
a good
that show.
That was a lot of fun.
Like my frankly, if I could cram as much commentary and analysis as they did in like a show, man, I'd be so happy.
yeah.
But
That was good stuff.
Come on, it's not. I didn't fucking invent the wheel with that show. Like it's fine. It's fine.
There's more room for more polygon heads in the world.
Well, yeah, but I think everyone.
I mean, look.
everyone
What's
should be walking
funny, I did think that it was funny that like that show is basically the plot to Dance or Die. I thought
Yes,
that was
that's what she said.
I thought that was pretty amusing, and I take that as a compliment.
Dude, they're big fans.
He probably doesn't even know who I am, and it's just creative synergy. But I thought that was pretty rad.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you do the
But
video?
am I insulted or am I going to take legal action? Fuck no.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to remember, and I have very horrible memory. What was the video that they did?
That's where all the '80s. What? Like are you talking Dance or Die?
I'm thinking about a video that is on, YouTube, and they're dancing, and then like they just like die. They just get shot.
No, that's Starcadian pressing the button and their
That's
heads
the video to
explode.
Dance or Die.
Yes,
That's the video.
That's the video.
to
He's sitting back.
Casualty.
Oh my
That's the video to
God.
Casualty, Dennis.
That's the video of the casualty. Oh my
Casualty.
god. I'm
The
done.
causality of
I'm done. I'm
casualty.
They're
going.
drunk.
I'm going home. I'm already
All right.
home.
Danny's last question was because of all the wake of COVID still lingering around. Has it ever crossed your mind to do like a live online concert?
And would you do it
Okay,
on Night Ride FM?
And if so, what's your rate?
Yes.
Well, okay. So I'm doing some extra work right now, and I'm drunk. So I'm gonna be candid, because why not? I'm not gonna drop a hot take or anything. But very good question, Danny. So it's hard, right? So for like almost 10 years, like I think it's 8 or something, wearing a mask. And I mean, I literally put that in Midnight Signals. I'm not a fan of the mask. Wear a mask just like everybody. It's just turned into like a thing that fucking everyone does, which I think is kind of sad. And I don't want to be... It's tricky because I don't really want to be stuck there, but it is kind of part of me. And I don't hate it or anything. It's just more like I'm bringing it up because it's kind of hard to do an engaging live show, streaming show while you wear a mask. I can kind of get away with it in the live show because I'm more physical about it, and I've set up like an interesting live show, or I had set up an interesting live show where I kind of like interact with people a little bit more. I still would interact more if I didn't wear a mask. I feel like you people would see the emotion. I would like make eye contact with people. But you'd lose some of the character creation that I'm making, right? So, I mean, again, keeping in mind that I have no streaming shows, no live shows planned, but I'm furiously selling and buying hardware to try to find like the best live show rig, the best playing rig, right? So I know, like in 2019, I toured around the world with the Akai Force, which is fucking amazing. But the thing is a chungus. It is a chungus among us, and I know. Fading the Glitch also got one. I talked to him briefly about it, and like he could probably testify that it is fucking heavy. And because I don't trust airlines, I carry everything in my live show in my backpack, and that was brutal. So long story short, I've gone to the Deluge, and now the Synthstrom Deluge is awesome. And now I just got the MPC-1, which is basically like the Akai Force but smaller, which is fucking dope. And I'm messing around with my guitars. I've added some like MIDI pickups. I'm using them to play synths. Full disclosure, because I don't have the budget for it, the money, or the connections like Daft Punk did to make their very expensive masks. But what I would love to do is to make a big mic stand / rig that would include a synthesizer in the whole handle, so I could like play synths to harmonize my voice at the same time.
Right.
Wow.
I'm just shooting shit, like stuff that's going on in my head right now. So my ideal live show, Danny, would be preferably live over streaming, because I feel that would be more interesting to people. And it would include this mega awesome mic stand that if anyone knows how to make, please contact me. And
Artie and Props?
Yeah, Artie and Props. Let's reach out to him.
We're gonna reach out to Artie and Props. We have this amazing. He's been
He
kind
did
of
those
quiet.
replica Daft Punk helmets that are like all
Yeah,
all like Arduino controlled, and you can control it from your cell phone.
it's insane. Artie and Props is just a hardcore, amazing, kind of like a genius. And I think is he out of Russia, I believe?
Yeah, I think so.
And he makes these like authentic. I mean, they're not cheap, but I mean, you're Starcadian. I'm sure you could probably work out, a little licensing deal or something. But we're gonna make this connection. This is what
we're gonna say. That's not like an assumption that I'm rich, because it's LOL.
No.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this connection.
Hearing that Starcadian would wear one of his or use one of his rigs.
And all I want out of this deal that we're setting up, I just want to be able to get free tickets to the stream. That's all I want.
I want to be able to buy your old mask then.
I mean, I think I've told people that. Well, I'm not gonna say it now because it's embarrassing that I don't remember the name. But I did give away some masks in the live show I played in the Knitting Factory. Yeah. But hook a brother up. I mean, I don't know. Frankly, like, just between all of us, all dozens of us, however many people are here,
listeners.
It would be great to live in a world where like it's not even about mask anymore. Like, it's not even about like what I like. It's like, hey, here's the fucking songs. Because I feel that would give me a lot more incentive to just offhand get on video podcasts or talk to people or do live shows where I wouldn't have to.
It'd be easier.
Yeah, and it's not even about easier that I don't like it. It's more like I wouldn't have to obsess over curating the quality of it. You know what I mean? Not a bad thing. Just like, I'm a perfectionist, and if I'm going to do something, I don't want it to look rinky-dink. So it's going to need extra effort. Whereas if I'm just a guy in a t-shirt, like, I would probably be doing a lot more stuff a lot more often. But then that kind of loses the allure of what I'm trying to get across, right? Because like I'm just a guy. I'm not Starcadian. The concept of Starcadian is of this cosmic thing that we. I mean, I will say, and I won't say this. H.P. Lovecraft is a monumental piece of shit. Like, he was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
He named his cat the N-word.
What?
Who the fuck does that? For his time, that was racist. That's horrible.
What?
Anyway, yeah.
Oh my god.
Like a hard R N-word, he named his cat. People in 10 something, like 16, 17, that were just like, bro, that's a little much.
They're like,
you got some issues. Yeah. And he wrote actual essays about like subspecies and shit like that. The guy was not a good person. And like, again, let's be a little moderate and not like, I'm not saying we should see his point of view, but like understand that kind of diseased thinking comes from a weird place. Like it comes from something. He didn't just come out of his mother's vagina and be like, you know what, I hate black people. No, it came because he had severe mommy issues. And I mean, if you read like his the way he grew up, it's like fascinating. The guy had like fucked up mom that basically just berated him and belittled him. He had a weird relationship with his wife. He moved to Red Hook. Funny story. I live in Brooklyn and I got an e-bike. And for anyone, well, no one was listening except for you two guys. But before we started recording, I was trying to fix my fucking Super 73 bike, which got a flat, and I'm like close to a mental breakdown because I can't fix it.
So if find it crazy that
knows anyone at Super 73, I fucking beg you, I will send you a vinyl of Radio Galaxy if I make one. I will send it signed to you if you can get me someone in New York who can fix it.
He just needs to fix his damn bike that has a flat.
Yeah, that's a side story.
A flat on a bike should not be that hard to fix.
No, but it's a flat on an e-bike.
But like what are they doing? What are they doing?
The tires, dude, it's literally 6 times the width of a normal bike, and it's got all these electronic shit on it, and also I'm an idiot. I don't fucking know how to fix shit. I do plink plonk synths for a living. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Anyway, that's what. Yeah, I'm Starcadian. I don't know shit. Anyway, this is a side story. Point being, I got a bike, and I was going around Brooklyn, and I looked up and I found H.P. Lovecraft's apartment that he lived in when he moved from Providence, Rhode Island to Brooklyn. He moved to Red Hook, where he wrote The Terror in Red Hook, which is also racist as fuck, because of course. So one of the things that got severely developed while he lived in Red Hook was his fucking racism and his deep hatred for black people and Hispanics. And I think it was mostly Hispanics in Red Hook at that time. And obviously, absolutely no fucking way to excuse this whatsoever. But it's interesting to note that because of his like awful relationship with his mother, awful relationship with his wife and whatnot, and like his fucking weird ghoulish ass face if you see him, and his probably social ineptitude, he had this like pent up frustration, right? Which, if you've heard of incels and alt-right, that's kind of rings a bell, right? It's fascinating to me that it manifested itself in racism. And I think in situations like that, it's worth saying, okay, yes, he's racist. Yes, he's a piece of shit. Like, after all is said and done, he said what he said, and that makes him a piece of shit, and that's that. There's no justifying.
Right.
But it is worth asking the question, like, what makes a person go there? If someone is just born evil, is just a piece of shit, or is just mentally, he has like some mental chemical instability that causes that, like Ed Gein had, and he ended up doing all this gross shit. That's one thing, right? If it's like a chemical imbalance. If it's a normal person that has these awful points of view, I think it behooves us as people, as empathetic people that will try to kind of just like ask why, to truly ask why H.P. Lovecraft, his like failed life and his like miserable experience with relationships and life and possibly other people, caused them to use that as an outlet, and also produce these like beautiful pieces of art. Because like I don't think that a lot of people have reached that kind of like surreal cosmic horror that he kind of manifested with a lot of his stuff. You know what I mean? Like
especially at the time he wrote it.
Yeah. Like, it still works today. And you're like, well, he wrote that like almost 100 years ago. It's insane. Like, the thought, to me, it's fascinating. And wow, that was a long preface of like, the guy's a piece of shit. But
that was probably like a 3-hour butt right there.
Yo, Papa Starcadian ain't getting canceled today, motherfucker. I'm gonna preface this shit all day. But the moments of cosmic horror, like, I love this idea of like the universe and the creators of the universe. Not to get metaphysical, but whoever it is, aliens, gods, whatever the fuck, they don't give a shit about you.
Right.
Everything that you give a shit about is absolutely meaningless and granular in the actual truth of the universe. Like, it's not even that they go out of their way to make your life hell, like a lot of people think God does.
Right.
You don't even, you're nothing. You're
right,
nothing.
They don't even
what?
care.
What is that?
What is
this?
On a planet, spinning around a sun, spinning around a galaxy.
You're like a little specular highlight in the distance that they might catch a glimpse of, and they might swat it away and not even think, oh, was that even a living entity? It's nothing. And that to me is like, that's a cool fucking idea to me. The idea that like, well, what does that being think? What's empathy to that being? Right? Like, if we are a simulation, the things that are simulating us, well, what's their mental, what's their emotional reality? What do they think like? And what even are emotions on that scale of things? You know, that's the kind of shit that I'm kind of always trying to kind of put myself in when I write stuff. And I think it's really, really interesting stuff that not a lot, I haven't been able to successfully, obviously, like, translate that into like music or video, but that's my goal.
I gotta say,
something that kind of,
even if you don't like think that you translate it into the goal of music, I think all the elements are there. Like, I think that just the way your mind works, again, I will say that you are one of our favorite people to interview because your mind is just constantly churning on so many different layers and levels that it does translate into your music. Even though you might not think of it as translating into the music, it definitely is there. But, you know, it's fascinating just to hear your ideas, and I love this album. I think everyone should just go out, buy this album, buy the album when it comes out on vinyl, buy it twice, buy it 3 times, because I think it's a very meaningful album, and it's again one of my favorite albums of the year. And I think you definitely, a lot of your ideas are just ideas that like I don't know anyone that's like talking about like metaverses and, you know, gods, and, you know, like, it's fascinating stuff that I think that you can really focus and push all this stuff into your sound, which you do. And I think that's why you're really popular. I think that's why, and I know we kind of said off air that I think you don't really know if you're popular or not, but I could say that, like, there's people that just hang on your stuff because of all the layers and all the things that go on and get put into your music that I think really mean a lot to people. I think when people are like searching, because people are soul searching entities, you know, everyone's kind of soul searching in their way. I think, you know, when they come across your stuff and they start to listen a little further, like when they're first listening to, you know, that funky disco beat, and they're like, yeah, this is great, I can dance to it. But like the very second they scratch into that surface and start to see like all these little things coming out of the music with the lyrics and the samples and the direction and the mythology and everything like that, like, I think people are really fascinated and want to dig in further. I think that's your popularity is very much secured with your craft. I know Jules is probably one of your biggest fans, and I myself am as well. And I'm not really sure how to...
Jules is going to get me a job at SpaceX.
SpaceX? You cut out there for a second.
Whichever. I'll take whichever.
All right, so we're going to work on space sex. We're going to get some...
Not space sex.
Space cows. And where are we going with this show?
I think it's time to give out like a Patreon's a shout out. But like quick shout out to Ghost Town Tunes and Fate and Bait who joined us.
Yes.
And I think it's time
people
for
are still
Patreon.
listening. People are still tuning in, and I honestly I think you beat out Arcade High. I really do.
People are still coming in. Yo, go the fuck to sleep. It's past midnight. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Get out of here. Just a guy with a synthesizer.
It's Starcadian.
Get to bed, damn it. All right, so this is what we're going to do.
I'm just a motherfucker with a synth.
Patreons. People give us, believe it or not, people give us money sometimes to do what we do.
You deserve it.
As Night Ride FM, the conglomerate that we are. We're kind of like a thing that's bigger than ourselves at this point. I don't even know what.
I have a big deal. Give money to Night Ride FM. I am Commander Starcadian, and I endorse this message.
all you Star Cadets.
Star Cadets.
Yes.
Feed the beast. That's it. All right, so let's read out. These are our newest Patreons. These are people that put some money out of their coffers or into our coffers. What is a coffer anyway? Is that like a?
Where's money?
It's a thing that holds money.
Yeah, I guess. Like
No, coffer is money. I think.
Is a coffer money?
I thought it was a safe that held it.
Or maybe it is safe. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Chat members, if you guys are still listening, if you know what a coffer is, if you can tell us what a coffer is. In the meantime, we're going to tell people that put money into the coffer or put coffers into something.
Empty your coffers into ours.
Into your
strong
coffers.
box or small chest for holding valuables, and those valuables are specifically money that you should redirect to Night Ride
There
FM.
you go.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
As per Wikipedia.
But if someone held a gun to you and said you either give this money to Circadian or Night Ride FM,
Right.
I would say give it to a charity. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Why is someone holding a gun in your head? What are you doing? What are your life choices? Get your shit straight.
All right, Chris, Sir, and this is Jules. Jules, you just do it. I can't do it.
All right, so we got a couple of new Patreons here. Chris Sergenko, thank you very much, and Zach Buttram, thank you very much. The Unwashed Masses, thank you again.
I love that name.
I think our latest one, what was it? Mirrodin R. Emrys.
Yes, that's all wonderfully pronounced words, and thanks to Jules for doing that because I can't read things anymore.
Yeah, and don't forget to visit us at thestateofsynth.com.
State of Synth, you're gonna want these show notes. I'm telling you, these show notes are packed. So much shit.
Good luck transcribing that shit. Holy
cow. I'm like, where did I put that IMDb link?
We're just pasting shit in left and right. It's like everything we talked about. The show notes are cool, man. We do a show note for every episode, and it's fun. It puts all the songs. We got all the songs that we play. You can also, if you want to support Night Ride, that's awesome too. If you want to specifically support the State of Synth and, God forbid, our drunk asses, you can always buy us a beer. There's a little link in the top right hand corner. Buy us a beer. Buy Starcadian some more whiskey because he talks about cool things and he gives away his secrets when he gets drunk. So
Akashi whiskey.
Yeah.
And that's our show.
That's it, right? Yep. Thanks for
Yay.
listening. Many thanks to Mr. Cadian for joining us.
And we're gonna play you out. I'm reading from the script. I never read from the script, but I'm gonna read it. We're going to play you out with this new collab from the Chipmasters. Jules, I love you, man, because Jules will take the time to write all this shit down that I don't read. I never read this stuff.
Yikes.
But I appreciate you, man. You really lay this out. Luke Hash and Shirban, we heard this tune on Karin Zoe Lee's show, and this is fantastic. Yeah. This track right here, this is amazing stuff.
It's awesome, yeah.
So,
it's this track,
hot fire.
It's Exile.
Exile.
And by Lukash and Shirobon. So yeah, from all of us here at Night Ride FM and the State of Synth, have a good night. Thank you, Starcadian, for joining us.
Yes.
Bye, love you, kisses, bye.
And we'll see you next week.
It was super fun.
Our final episode of the season, our season finale, is next week. So stay tuned. We have a couple wonderful guests, Peter Zimmerman and Jordan Noir, I believe.
Yep, Jordan Noir from Das Record Club.
Das Record Club. But this is,
a quick one last shout out.
Super last.
It's like apparently it's 6:30 a.m. in Sweden. Jens Nielsen joined us on YouTube. So
oh my God, Starcadian, you got people listening up until 6 in the morning.
Go to bed. I mean, if it's 6 o'clock, wake the fuck up. Either way, you shouldn't be here.
Either go to bed or wake up. We love you.
Also, Sweden's Narnia. I fucking love Sweden. Best country ever. I love it. I miss it. Everyone's awesome.
Everyone is awesome. Here it is, guys. We'll see you next time.